Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast. We are a podcast about how we game, coming to you from Studio B is Bean in Tampa, Florida. I'm Carlos. Joining me, the rice to my bean, coming from West Chapel, Rob Childers.
Hey.
Boot and balls all the way from Louisiana, Mitchell, and then right up the road in my neck of the wood in Lutz, my man Wayne. Thank you for joining us, fellas.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, as always.
All right, and at
Always
this
a
point,
pleasure.
Rob can introduce what the show's about and all that stuff while I push buttons to try to get things going.
Show's about. All right, I'll do my normal thing. So, welcome to the live call-in show Thursday night, every Thursday night. Woo, woo, woo. All right, wah, wah. There we go. So, for those of you who haven't maybe tuned in for the first time, this idea behind this show is every Thursday night, normally from 9 to 10. Tonight, an extra long episode from 9 to 11 is what we're going to shoot for, as long as we can fill the time and as long as we get people calling in. But this show is all interactive. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you've been up to, what you've been playing, industry news. It can be about board games, card games, RPGs, whatever you want to talk about. Conventions going on. Conventions are hot and heavy right now, but this whole show works off of you calling in, you talking to us about what you've been up to. That's what we want to hear. We also do a podcast that usually comes out every Sunday, an audio podcast every other Sunday or every Sunday.
Every other, usually.
Every other, usually, roughly Sunday. So we've got that where we just sit and chit chat about different topics that we've been up to. If you don't call in, we usually have a few things that we'll chat about and we'll fill some time. But otherwise, again, I can't stress enough that this is all about you calling in. So we got the number up on the screen there, 813-618-7099. Carlos, I assume that line is open.
Phone lines open, and with your help, since we're all remote today, I'm going to be screening phone calls. So if a call does come in, you might see me pull away from the conversation as I figure out who it is.
Cool. So yeah, Carlos will be trying to screen those calls just so we rule out that unruly caller from here or there.
We
You have something, Mitchell?
Wayne temporarily, but
Yeah, so
that's right.
I
Had to get my wife an iPad charger, or let her get an iPad charger. But I just want to give a quick shout out to Chris
Scafidi.
Yeah,
there we go.
In chat already there. I backed his game that just went live on Kickstarter, Nomadic Gardeners, and I'll say that I've on the show I've talked before. I've backed 50, 60 something projects in Kickstarter board games, and Chris sent probably the first ever personalized note thanking me for backing his project. So I mean that's
cool.
I like that. That's the kind of customer service that you want when you do a crowdsource. When you're spending your money in hopes of a project, to hear from the creator saying, "Hey, I noticed you back a lot of projects. Thank you for taking time to take my project on. I really, that's really cool. So if you all want to get in on a really cool little game that can travel and party well, and a travel game at a good price, then definitely check out Nomadic Gardeners on Kickstarter. I think that's going to be a good game for folks to get involved in.
Yeah, Chris is a really good guy. We had a good time hanging out with him in St. Louis last year. We're planning to meet up with him again this year, and he sent us a real nice note as well. So yeah,
we got a special caller calling in.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
straight out of Florida.
Okay.
Mahir Shaw.
Mahir Shaw, awesome.
Hi guys. I felt I've not called in since a long time, so might as well call in.
Well, we appreciate that. How you doing?
Good, not bad. How are you guys?
Doing good. Still recovering from Dice Tower a little bit, but doing good.
I'm recovering from Gen Con.
Gen Con. I saw. How was Gen Con?
Oh man, Gen Con was exhausting. It was downright tiring.
Yes.
Were you doing any work
give us
on
a report.
Oh, we all started at the same time. Sorry.
All three of you.
You're all beautiful hosts. Go ahead, Mahir. Give us a rundown on Gen Con, your Gen Con experience. The show is yours now.
This was my first Gen Con experience, and it was totally wild and crazy. So I was there officially through Stonemaier Games. So I was like demoing my game Viticulture World at the Meeple Source booth, which is tied up with Stonemaier Games, or rather Stonemaier Games is tied up with the Meeple Source guys. So I was there demoing my game every day, meeting fans, interacting with fans, and signing a few boxes, and just being overwhelmed by the love, and of course being overwhelmed by the crowd at Gen Con, just by the atmosphere, the liveliness, the vibe. It was just a roller coaster. It felt like a time warp. I don't
Yeah,
know where
just-
time passed by.
You just got to think there's still 20,000 less than their peak attendance. So
Imagine that with 20,000
Oh.
more.
My God, that would be crazy. Because I heard this year they were like around 50,000 people.
yeah,
Even though there were 50,000, it did not feel that crowded. But I would assume, add 20 more thousand, and it would definitely feel crowded in there.
yeah. I think the last time I went was maybe 2017 or 18, one of the two, and it was like 60 something thousand, and it was getting packed. So I can imagine when it hit 70, 75,000, it was crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's just the walking. Like ZenCon is so huge. If you walk from one end to another, and especially going back and forth from the hotel to the convention center, it's just too much of walking. I might have walked every day around like 25 to 30,000 steps. Suddenly now I live next to the Disney parks, right? Suddenly the Disney parks feel smaller in compared to ZenCon.
Funny.
All right,
Yeah,
Mitch
but
and
it was
Wayne,
awesome.
y'all have a conversation here with me here. Talk to them, ask them questions about Gen Con. Get the folks at home some content.
Well, I think what was I know you obviously spent a lot of time demoing, and I've done that at a big con. I back in the day worked for WizKids as a judge and spent the entire con on your feet all day every day. How was that at the end of 3 or 4 days of demoing your game? The physical, the voice. How did that work out for you?
The tough part is the voice. The voice takes a hit. It definitely takes a hit after every day. So what I did was I made it a mission that so I used to like demo from 10 to 4, and after 4 I made it a mission that I'm just going to speak 50 words or less. That's it, to conserve my
Wow.
voice.
Yeah.
Otherwise it was going crazy, and especially with the mask on. Some people like I tried having those cough tablets, but then they were with the mask on. It's just not comfortable, especially speaking for so long and being so long in the mask, continuously speaking. But yeah, after 4 p.m., don't speak. Just communicate in sign language, even though you do not know sign language, and race around the exhibitor hall, the vendor hall, to look for new stuff, new games, and to look for stuff that meets the eye, and talk to people, meet new people. I met so many content creators. I met Monique and Naveen, the Thinkatima girls, who who are always fantastic. Uh, just many. I met Stella from Maple University. Interacted with many fans during my walkthrough of the exhibition of the exhibitor hall also. But there were a few games that I did manage to sneak in and play. Yeah, and I was really happy with that. Oh, and by the way, I I got myself into an tournament for the game called Mosaic, a story of civilization.
Mhm.
And it was purely accidental. I was just roaming around the demo hall.
Whoops, stumbled into a
I
tournament.
just fell into a tournament.
Yeah,
That
I was
happens at
roaming around
Gen
the demo
Con.
hall,
Yeah.
and I was roaming around the demo hall, and they were starting this game, and I wanted to try that game since a long time, uh, because I tried it at Dice Tower West, and the teach was horrible, so the entire group left midway. So I wanted to have a full game, and I'd forgotten the rules. So, but the worst part was when I entered the table, everyone had just finished a 40-minute rules teach, and I was given a choice to sit down and learn as I go, or just do not join the game. So I decided to sit down and learn as I go. And behold, I won the game. And I jumped.
Humble brag.
Wow.
I sat without knowing the rules. That just shows that how easy that game is to pick up. And it really is. It's just 8 actions. And I feel that game can be picked up by anybody and everybody. It's that easy. And so I went into the finals the next day, and I won the finals. So I got the Colossus edition of Mosaic: A Story of Civilization
Wow.
as
Nice.
Wow,
a
very
prize.
cool.
So that's why you got a Facebook post earlier today trying to sell off a bunch of games because you need to make room, huh?
Yes. There's no space now.
Somebody's stalking me. Here's Facebook.
No, 'cause he had a couple games that I'm interested. I'm like, I only live like an hour away, man.
Yeah.
Oh, now he knows
So,
where you
but,
live, me here. This is creepy,
Yeah.
bro. I'll watch him for you.
Orlando.
No, but Mosaic is a fantastic game. I'm so excited for it. I'm excited for everyone to receive their copies and get a chance to play it. It's an epic Civ game which can be played in 2 hours. I think at 3 players also it can be played in 2.5 hours. It is just fantastic. It's fun. It has this terraforming Mars kind of card play, uh, and it's just fun. It is race towards different achievements and different goals and stuff like that. The combo building, the engine building, and everything is just perfect. The turns are snappy. It just gives you this epic feel. It's awesome. It does some very nice things, and I'm just amazed by the fact that how simple the game is. Off late, I have tremendous respect for designers who can create like simple rule sets which can literally be taught in like 5 to 10 minutes, but the depth of strategy is like immense. So like Ankh can literally be taught in 10 minutes, but the depth is amazing. Same for Mosaic. Literally, it can be taught in 10 minutes or less, but the depth of strategy is amazing.
I taught Ankh to Carlos and Rob in about 10 minutes, and Carlos was like, "Whoa, that was fast."
It was
so
fast.
I don't know if he'll agree with you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Mahir. You mentioned thinker themer, so I'm kind of changing the topic, but I'm sure everybody knows, the video they put out about the, the
Yeah.
cultural stuff in viticulture world.
Yeah.
I'm curious, the conquistadors that were originally included in the game,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh,
looks like we may have lost Mitchell.
Carlos
Yeah,
booted him on the topic.
I don't know where this is
What's that?
going. I got to cut him.
Mid thought there.
Oh,
We
sorry.
lost him. Oh, you're
Sorry,
back.
you lost me. My question was, were you the one that picked those conquistadors, or did you get the mechanics and Stonemeyer added those in? And then what's your relationship with them like now that, it's been rectified? Can you talk about that process?
So yeah. So the conquistadors. So in viticulture world, all the background and story was Francisco was doing it, and of course he was showing it to me, and I was adding the mechanics to it for the major part. So in this, the conquistadors, in all honesty, I did not even know what conquistadors mean, because I grew up in India and my history books did not have any word called conquistadors ever. So my vocabulary was like null. So Francisco, in fact, did tell me that these are conquistadors and they might be problematic. And we discussed it a bit, and we were like, we cannot even go like 2 pages on our research without coming across conquistadors and how important they were in the wine industry for uh, in growing the wine industry for South America. So we decided amongst ourselves that, hey, since this is a winemaking game and since they were so important in growing and enhancing the wine industry in South America, let's just keep them. And if at a later stage, if someone is not happy, like like Jamie or some of the developers not happy, they it's their call. They can remove it. Uh, so the first buck is on me. Like Francisco did flag it, and he did flag it to me. And in all honesty, I would say the entire fault starts at me, because I was blind. I was culturally blind towards it. Nonetheless, so it went on to Jamie, and their cultural consultant flagged it, and we had a message in the original one that even though these guys did some bad things, we do not appreciate what they did. However, they are important for winemaking in the region, and hence, so whatever but that wasn't enough. As we now know, that wasn't enough. And then Tinker Timor had this video out. Now, in all honesty, Tinker Timor and Jamie worked this out fantastically, because they first messaged Jamie that this is the video we're going to put out, and this is how we feel about it, and we are sorry about it, but this is we have to do this. And Jamie was super acceptive, and Jamie wanted to in fact rectify and help be part of the solution. So, and he did. He immediately messaged us, me and Francisco, and he immediately got us working for replacement characters, and we got that to him in 2 days, and he went to factory within the next 2 days or so, and tried and get those replacement packs done very soon. About Thinker Timor, so this, so at Dice Tower West, I met them, which was before they even played South America on their review copy, and we played Oceania, the Oceania continent. And I did teach them viticulture world with Oceania with them and Covre, and they were very happy. They loved it, and they managed to win in the first try. But then this came out, and I totally understood their point of view. And like I don't know, so like how you like in America, people do not know how things about Indian history, like Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So I always think if
Mm.
someone asked me to team up with these guys who had massacred so many Indian people just blindly, I wouldn't be happy too. I would have the same reaction as Tinker Timur had. But not then. But then, I was culturally blind because my history books did not teach me about South American conquistadors, and as the American history books do not teach about the Bagh massacre. And so now I realize that there's so many things happening in the world. So even though we might not feel strongly about something, does not mean that someone else does not feel strongly about something, and everything is valid. So. So yeah, I did apologize to Tinker Timur on private Facebook and stuff like that many a times, and they were super nice, and honestly they are some of the nicest people. They told me that we understand it's not your fault, you do not have the context and the background. We just hope that this we wanted to put this message out so that it paves a positive way for the industry going forward. And I was totally all for it, yes, and I totally agreed with it and apologized from me and from my and Francisco's way. And when I met them out here at Gen Con, it was not as if nothing had happened. We were just we discussed viticulture world, and I again apologized to them, and they were very happy, and they were and in fact they thanked me for not taking it personally, and yeah, so and we just got speaking, we got speaking,
Dialogue.
and I just like personally, I just wish that also on their video there were a few comments that people made that were not so positive, and I just hope that wasn't the case. I just hope, because it takes a lot for people to come up and come out like that, and then even if you do not like something, if you want to say something negative, or if you do not agree to something to their video, I just wish that people would rephrase or phrase their sentences in a much more better way. There's always a better way of disagreeing, I feel, instead of saying hurtful comments on a particular video. So I just felt that I hope they did not. I just wish that they did not face these kinds of hurtful comments on their video. I mean, you can disagree, of course. We are humans; we'll disagree, but there's always a better way to disagree. Other than that, they're fantastic people. I told them whenever you're in Florida, Orlando, please, I'll be happy to host you, and they were very happy and excited about it. They'll surely take up that opportunity next time they're in US. So yeah, Tinker Timur and me, we are very cordial. In fact, we are good friends now because I've met them like more than twice, and they are such lovely souls. They are just amazing people.
And I think it's a testament, I think, to yourself and Jamie and the whole company is, you can make a mistake, and it's how you respond to that mistake, how you incorporate the thought process of others and learn, right?
Yeah.
You like you said, you didn't know the history, right? Because you're from a different culture, a different area of the world. We're all like that. I mean, even in America, we don't even know a lot of our own history. And I think back, this is kind of an example of, when HBO episodes of The Watchmen came out, the cartoon show, there was a scene about a massacre that took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And like the next day, they were like the Google searches for that. Did this really happen? And it's like how much we don't understand about the history of our own country, let alone the whole world, is hard to know.
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake, you own up to it. It's how you respond to it. And I think you guys responded to it fantastically.
Yeah, major props on the response. I agree with Wayne. A beautiful answer, by the way. Thank you for discussing that. I know it's a touchy subject, but I think you guys handled it well.
He wasn't afraid to touch that third rail, right, Mitchell? You went right in. Touch that third rail. I don't want to detract from the tone of that answering that conversation, but I deal with a lot of stuff in humor. So a lot of stuff in humor. I'm just happy because I got like extra free, content for the game
Cards?
because of this. So,
Well, and I was
it all worked out great.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I could use. I have the original printing, so I have those conquistador cards, right? And I have an 8-year-old son. He's not yet ready for viticulture, but when he is, and we're playing viticulture world in the next, I can say, hey, here's why we're playing with these cards and not these cards, and use that as a teaching tool now going forward.
Yeah, yeah, true. So yeah, and besides that, uh, we were demoing like Stonemaier was nice to send the nesting box, the wingspan nesting box
I
for
saw
the
that
fans
online.
to have a look. Yeah, so that box looks amazingly
It
good
does.
when it's front of your eyes. I mean, online it looks good, but when it's actually in front of your eyes, it looks amazingly good. Not only that, I don't know, there's something about the material of that box. I kept feeling it as if I'm feeling my pet, like I, I kept feeling it. I kept putting my hand over it over and over again. The material of that box is just amazing. So that was a big draw. And my God, people love Wingspan. The Meeple Source booth had so many Wingspan upgrades, and all were flying. The Wingspan boxes were flying and stuff like that. So hopefully, yeah. So this year, the big draw was Wingspan and Viticulture World, and the wine crate. The wine crate, we sold a lot of wine crates out there. Um, in gaming news, I think there was another game called Fit to Print, which is a cute uh, game in the world of creatures. These days there are many creature-based games. Like Everdell and Creature Comforts and Root and stuff like that. So this is a game about. This is in the same world where you are trying to best put out a. If I remember this right, you're trying to put out the best front page for your news article. Fit to print, yeah. It's art by Ian O'Toole, so it's fantastic art. People are pretty excited about that. Then people are pretty excited about Cat in a Box, which was like a trick-taking game, kind of, with beautiful components where they had the trick-taking game without suits. So that was amazing and different. Um, of course, there was the Ark Noah map pack where people were lining up for it. Um, there are many designers. Cole Worley was there. The designer of Parks was there. Um, mm, so many people were excited for that to get to meet them. Um, Besides that, I really like this deduction game called Turing Machine.
Oh,
Turing
I
Machine is
played
a
that at
deduction
Dice
game.
Tower East. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that was interesting because usually it does not have any other flaws of a deduction game. Or like say for example, Search for Planet X, a logic deduction game, it needs an app. Turing Machine does not need an app. Cryptid, you rely on other people to give you the right information, and Turing Machine, you don't rely on other people. There is a game AI itself which give you the information. It's always right. So Turing Machine was awesome. So for fans who like number-based logic deduction,
Yeah.
this I think Turing Machine is a great game.
And I think I
Um,
heard that the game comes with like 20 or 25 cases or solvable puzzles, but then
oh,
there's going to be either a website or an app that's going to have hundreds more to do. So
I
that
think it's
millions.
millions,
They
I
told
think
me
they said
millions.
millions.
million
Yeah,
plus. Yeah, that's
millions.
what they
Millions.
said
Yeah,
at Dice
yeah,
Tower.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is
Millions.
awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm excited for
Yeah.
this one.
The production of that game is really cool. I heard that with the holes in the box, it makes it really easy to open. I saw in some review the other day. I
Yeah.
didn't open the box at the
No,
con,
no
but it was
box
already
fart.
open.
No box
Yeah,
fart.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, this is definitely
This
definitely
no,
a
no, this is
puzzlers type game.
really this is a really fun game. Though there is some bit of luck in it, but I can
Yeah.
overlook that part.
But here we
Uh,
have Chris Cafidi in the chat from another game designer, and he's asking if the nesting box has UV frosting like the Civilizations and Tapestry.
Yeah, I'm not.
you know, I don't remember now.
Yeah, I
Because
couldn't particularly tell you what that UV frosting is, but
no,
I remember. Yeah.
no. You know what? I would say 90%. I'm sure it's not there.
Okay.
90%. I can say it's not there, but I may be wrong. So yeah, don't hold me to that.
Okay.
The box
Besides
looked
that,
amazing though, man.
yeah, the box is definitely amazing. Uh, Besides that, I got a chance to try out Endless Winter, which I'm pretty excited. I did not back that on Kickstarter. But after trying it out at Gen Con, I'm definitely going to hunt for it once it comes out. And it's already on the boats. It's already on the boats to US. So it should be out pretty soon. Endless Winter is, and not only it has amazing art, but um, the whole concept of prehistoric, I mean, humans right at the start, yeah, as it says, Paleo Americans. So it's thematic, the mechanisms are thematic, and the expansions are out of the world. So they have this one expansion called Cave Paintings. And it's so awesome because you are actually painting. You are painting. So in the game, you are going to be drawing lines and you're going to be sketching and you're going to be painting. And it'll give you some bonuses and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty darn cool. Like cave paintings, and you're actually making paint, drawing lines and painting. It got me sold. That's just amazing. It's just too fun.
The art is
Yeah.
really cool. Looking
So
at it, that's got to be what's his name, Dimitrescu,
Yes.
however you pronounce it, from Viscounts of the West Kingdom and North Sea, all that.
And Imperium Classics, and that art looks very familiar. Let me see, who is that?
The pieces are amazing. The art is good, especially the rivers. If you
Yeah,
can look
Mihalo.
up
It's Mihalo who did the cards for the Imperium Osprey games, Imperium Classics, Imperium Legends, Viscounts of the West Kingdom, I believe, as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, here's a list of his games. We can just look at him here. Yeah, that art is beautiful.
Or if look up the expansion for that game called Rivers and Rafts or something like that, and just see the board. You'll be amazed by the beautiful art of that expansion. Sometimes you just want to buy a game and play a game just because of the art. So
Said Rob,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah, Rob, not so much, but Carlos, yes.
Rivers and Rafts.
Yeah, Rob's not. Rob said he can play any game in black and white with just cubes and checker boxes. It's all about mechanisms for him.
As long as it's got mechanics, good mechanisms. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. I don't know. It is this. Once you see the tiles and how the board lays out with this expansion, it is just awesome.
Yeah, that looks nice. You can see it. Carlos got it up on the screen there. It looks good.
Oh yeah, now you can see the river going across. It just looks so cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Tell you what, I did not expect to get this phone call today.
Yeah,
Ron was
surprise.
saying, did you plan this, Carlos?
Yeah.
I know Ron was asking if I planned this. I was not expecting to have a game designer come in and join us to give his rundown from Gen Con Direct. So I'm so happy that you took the time to call us here. Really, really appreciate it, man.
I love you guys, so I'll be dropping in once in a while.
Yeah, we gotta plan a meetup sometime. We gotta either have you over this way or we gotta head over that way and get a day of games in at some point.
Dude,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah, we gotta
let's
make that
road trip
happen.
out on a Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll take the day off and then we'll do the live call-in show right from like Mihir's game room.
I like it.
Yeah. So there's in Gen Con there was the USPS had an official game and eBay had an official game. So eBay was giving away free game. Yeah, there's an eBay Buy It Now game called eBay Buy It Now, and eBay was giving it away for free. And there was this official game from USPS, the Great American Mail Race. And the beautiful part was they had a big USPS van inside the exhibit hall.
I saw that.
It was just awesome. And it was just awesome. And that van was right next to our booth. So I had lots of fun going to the volunteers out there of that booth and just telling them, hey, I had a tracking number and I did not receive my package.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Now, I thought that, it's interesting at, Gen Con this year, you had eBay and the Postal Service having games. So like they recognize the power of the industry. eBay was like, if you're an eBay customer, they gave you the game for free just to, to try to say, hey, you could buy games on eBay and the post office. I mean, that just goes to show you, I think, how much the industry is getting beyond itself and moving into the sort of general zeitgeist of our society.
Yeah.
Jeremy has a nice comment. He said,
it-
I hope there's a random event that causes them to lose your package when it's 2 towns away.
No, Yeah, anyway.
That is true.
All right, me here. We will catch up with you and hopefully actually, make good on having you as a full-time host on the show for one day.
Hopefully.
Take care, man. We really appreciate your call.
All right.
Thanks for
Thank
calling
you.
me here. Have a good evening.
Take care, guys.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
That was a pleasant
Wow, surprise.
surprise.
Yeah, surprise caller. Woo.
That was
Love those.
not saying we don't love all our callers. We love all our callers, but
Oh, Yeah,
I don't-
there's some special ones. Yeah.
I don't feel the love that much anymore. I feel like
No,
we're
well,
callers.
you're not a caller now.
Kid,
Now
you
you're
know.
a regular contributor, so yeah, we don't love you so much. That's different.
I tell you what, though, it's interesting to see, like, as you follow social media, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and you see everyone at Gen Con, you see how all of the various content contributors, board game industry people, all interact with each other. It's kind of, it shows you just sort of how good the community can be,
Yeah.
touring machine. Mahir brought it up.
That's good.
When Mitch talked about it in our podcast. I think I gave him some gruff.
Yeah.
I was talking about, Mastermind, the new game. Ooh. But I saw some stuff about it that's kind of like, whoa, this is deeper than I thought.
Go screen that call.
Actually, I don't even need to screen this call. I know who this is.
Oh, yeah? Straight on.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Ron from Atlanta.
Hey, Rob
Ruby
Fraser.
Fraser.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm the second caller again, except 30 minutes later.
Keep the
Hey,
streak
it
alive.
was me here. I was going to let him go as long as he
Yeah.
wanted to go.
I understand. So that means you're gonna let me go as long as I want to go, right?
We're losing connect.
Listen,
Oh,
Ron,
man.
Ron may
Static.
not be a designer, but he is a contributor to the Dice Tower, so he's an important person as well.
And an official Beans and Dice crew member.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you got going on, Ron?
It's kind of hard to follow up here, but I just wanted to call in, and since this is a 2-hour extravaganza, and get in early because I'm not hanging out till 11. That's crazy. I'm an old man. 10 o'clock in my bedtime. So yeah, I played a whole bunch. I shared a little bit on the Dice Tower Con episode about some of the things I experienced, and I believe I called in afterwards talking about my my games that made the greatest impression on me and everything like that. But right now, I just wanted to talk about Gen Con a little bit,
That's kind of the main topic of this show. Is kind of news
Right.
and topics that we saw that come out of Gen Con that interested us. So give us yours.
So, Star Wars, the deck building game.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. I've been wanting for Fantasy Flight to bring some sort of a Star Wars card game out, and they did. But it's not like a co-op LCG or even a competitive LCG. I know they've been down that route. They've
Well, we've done it with
been
Dice,
down
right?
Yeah. Dice, they've done it both.
Yeah, they had a card game. They had an LCG.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, that's right. I think you showed it to me, Carlos. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's a little bit bewildering for me. Is the reason why I was bringing this up. I mean, there's so many deck builders out there. I mean, pure deck builders, which is what this is. This isn't a deck construction game. And isn't it? I feel like it's about 14 years too late.
Yes. Look at the art on the cover of this game. Look at this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No.
it all looks 14 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. It's Yeah. What's going on there? Like what? This used to be. Fantasy Flight used to be a house of ideas and have some sort of innovation. They've always done the IP thing, and which I'm not mad at them for. But I don't know.
I think this hits at a bigger issue. I mean, like in previous
Yeah.
Gen Cons, you had the Fantasy Flight in-flight report. It was a big event. Everyone went to it. There were hundreds of people, watching it. It was streamed online. There was always a big drop of a new game, TI4 or whatever. And they're kind of like in this flux right now, where they're still. Is it Christian Peterson that used to be Fantasy
Yes.
Flight? And he left, and I think they're kind of still in flux. And so they like this year they did in flight, but they did like a little 30-minute one every day to release.
Yeah, it was broken up,
and it was boring. I didn't even watch it.
It sucked. Like,
This was going to be my topic for the show. I wrote down FFG meh for my Gen Con, thoughts.
Well, we talked about this a year ago, Carlos, on the show. I think we even talked about was Fantasy Flight on a downward spiral, and were they going to be even pretty much of a company in a year or two? And are we still seeing that fall? It feels like, but go ahead, Rod.
Yeah. Because they've outsourced some stuff, like Edge Studios doing the role playing game stuff, so that's gone. Isn't Atomic Empire doing the Marvel Crisis Protocol? There isn't that much there at Fantasy Flight proper. Yeah. Did Asmodee get sold? I know they were up for sale. I forget.
Asmodee got sold
they
to
did.
a bigger venture capital company.
Yep.
Yeah. It's I feel like that. As much as I love Marvel Champions, and as much as I love Marvel Champions, I'm not high on the direction that the company's going. However, the fact that Christian Peterson is actually legitimately back in the industry with a company producing games, that has me excited.
Sure.
Yeah, for those that don't know, he's started his own new company and has now has the rights to Keyforge. So he's going to be recreating Keyforge again because apparently FFG lost the coding of how to do the random decks.
Yeah, they lost something.
Yeah.
How do you lose the computer?
Yeah, their algorithm
coding?
was broken.
So
it was broken. They have to redesign it. Yeah.
Well, the computer IT guy in me says, so they have this algorithm that's creating these decks, and there's gonna be a backup, right? Whenever you have a database, you back up your database, in theory. So either they didn't have a backup to their database, and their main database gets corrupted, or what has been rumored is they were victims of a ransomware, hijacking, where it's like, hey, you got to pay us. We now control your servers. You got to pay us X amount of money. We're going to wipe them. And they just said, wipe it. And part of that server was the Keyforge stuff. So they had to rebuild it from scratch. So I think there's more to what happened with Keyforge that we don't know publicly, because obviously it's a major company that can't tell you what happened. But, how do you not have a backup to your database? Is kind of basically, rule one for DBAs is have a backup.
I think we agree with you, Ron, that we're glad to see Christian Peterson back into the game. I believe that was the heart and soul of FFG, the founder of FFG, born from the blood and sweat and tears of Twilight Imperium. That's what FFG came from. And it is. I feel like it's lost its way. It definitely has lost its way.
And let's just touch briefly on the new TI release. I mean, I think probably their biggest announcement was the new TI. Is it I guess it's not a roll and write. It's a flip and write. Is that what it is? Twilight Inscription. Yeah. What did you just see about that? What did you hear about that?
So the first review I saw was by Dan King, the Game Boy Geek, and he was really mixed on it, and just based on what I'm seeing, I'm inclined to agree. Like it, you know what? It makes me want to learn how to play Hadrian's Wall even more.
I agree.
I keep hearing all this hype, and Hadrian's Wall is just a better, heavier roll and write than what Twilight Inscription is trying to be. And the thing is that, like, I don't want to play a roll and write if I want to play Twilight Imperium. I want to play Twilight Imperium.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying it's about a 2-hour experience, and so again, for me, that's definitely a bonus. Instead of a 6 to 8 hour TI4 experience, if I can get the same feel in a 2-hour flip and write, that's definitely up my alley. But then again, now I've played Hadrian's Wall twice. It's been a while, and that's a big enough game where next time I play it, I'm going to have to probably relearn about half the rules, which will take me probably 20 to 30 minutes. But I really want to play Hadrian's,
Right.
like you mentioned. I want to play Hadrian's Wall again now because I want to play that, and then I want to try Twilight Inscription because they're both probably about 2-hour flip and write, roll and write games, and I want to compare the two.
Euro level,
Euro
roll
level
rights.
roll and rights. There you go. That's a good
Yep.
way to explain it. Yep. And so now, but it definitely does. As soon as the more I hear about Twilight Inscription, the more I want to go back and play Hadrian's Wall again. So this will be interesting to see if Hadrian's Wall sees a little spike in activity and sales and hotness because of the Twilight Inscription. So anyway, kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah. One more thing before I hang up. This Twilight Imperium, Twilight Inscription thing. There's another game that has a similar lower complexity, quicker playing version, and that's War of the Ring, which is my favorite game. There's a War of the Ring card game. I'm sure you guys have heard about that. And unlike Twilight Imperium, which typically takes 4 to 12 hours, depending on player count and whatnot, War of the Ring, the board game takes about 3 hours, and this card game is supposed to take about maybe an hour and a half, or maybe an hour and a half. And so I am looking forward to that, and that's a little bit better because the War of the Ring board game, it's card driven, it's card and dice driven, really. So I kind of feel like that has a closer comparison than this whole Twilight Inscription, Twilight Imperium mess. But so that's good.
Yeah. And as I was, Mitchell was showing off there, he's a huge fan of the IP, so that's going to be right up his alley. I'm sure anything that comes out with the rings on it is gonna get his attention, and certainly, that's one I'm definitely interested in. I heard a lot about that out of the Gen Con buzz.
Yeah. And Roy's played it, and Stephen Bonacor's played it, and both of those guys really liked it. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It seems that Twilight Inscription's got Bonacor loves it. Game Boy Geek was like, meh, I like it, but I can see, and then Roy didn't necessarily like it, so it's got a little bit of love-hate there. And I think where it's going to come down is people who loved TI and everything about it.
Sure.
They're not necessarily going to love Twilight Inscription because they'll be like, well, for an extra couple hours, we just want to play Twilight, right?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. But the Lord of the Ring, I love War of the Ring. And Mitchell, if you like that too, we got to get 2-player of that sometime, and we were to get back together. But
get that on BGA.
Yeah, a card game version could be good because that would be a little quicker. Get that on PGA.
BGA.
That's a long game.
I have a painted copy of War of the Ring, by the way.
Nice.
I just want to put that out there.
Humble brag.
Yeah, right.
you just dropped it on the table. There it is.
I didn't do the painting. I paid somebody.
Oh, okay. It's bought, not built. I get it.
Even more of a humble brag. He didn't know how to do the
He's got it like that. When you work in the electric industry, you got it like that, right?
I appreciate you, Ron.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, Ron. Thanks for calling.
Later, Rumi.
Oh, we didn't ask him about his possible move to Tampa. We'll have to hit him out next week. Yeah.
I'll see him in 2 weeks, so I'll ask about that.
Yeah, if we forget you, hit him up.
I think the cat's out of the bag now that the podcast released. I wonder if Ron has finally realized that you laid on his couch without sleeping for 4 hours.
Oh, yeah. I say, have you even noticed? Yeah, I'm in and out like that, like a stealthy. And I got to bring up, Diego mentioned in the chat that I know Ron mentioned very briefly, the Cat in the Box. I mean, that was a lot of buzz, a lot of talk coming out of Gen Con about that, the hot new trick-taking game. Diego says he's bringing it for those here in the Tampa area. He's going to be bringing it to our game day this Saturday at your turn. So that'll be a good times that we'll get a chance to play some Cat in the Box. So anybody who's interested, Your Turn Cafe, we meet there every other month. Every other month, we go to Armada Games in downtown Tampa. But this one is coming up at Your Turn Board Game Cafe this Saturday. We do all day, open to close. I think they open at noon, and we'll be there till they kick us out, usually between 10 and 11 sometimes. So anybody in the Tampa area who wants to come out and join us, definitely meet up with us this Saturday.
Well, our next caller can't join us from that far away. I'm going to introduce on the line right now, David Dugas.
Hey, Dugas!
What's up, guys?
That's a great image of Mitchell frozen there.
Mitch just froze up, so he was going to say something, but he just froze. So good timing, Mitchell.
Hey, have y'all ever had I'm guessing someone had a PS1 out of y'all, right?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever played a game called Masters of Terras Kasai? I think that's what it's called.
Haven't heard of that one.
Star Wars fighting game that's similar to like Tekken and those type of things.
Star Wars fighting game?
Yeah.
It was called Masters of Terras Kasai. Tell me the art on the new deck building game does not look like that.
Oh my God!
The old PS1 game.
You're absolutely right.
It's 14 years old. It's like 14-year-old CGI from like an old PS1 or
oh
PS1
wow! I
or
just looked it up. It does look like it.
And I had that game. I remember it. I still have my PS1. It's So.
Good callback, Debbie. Good callback.
That's a good one.
What's your topic, comment, or question for the folks?
Yeah, so one game I'm looking forward to play I got at Gen Con, Bradley got it for me, is Cat in the Box. I'm a big-time trick-taking guy, and one day I'm going to get in on the crew with y'all. I know y'all play on BGA and stuff.
You tried to get in last night, and we had a full game. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're going to do it. You got to join us.
But, I'm super excited for that. I don't know if y'all talk. I'm guessing y'all talked a pretty good deal about it, but
just started.
We're gonna be playing it on Tuesday for Gumbo Live. I'm planning on it anyways. And another game that I'm hoping to be playing soon is Ready, Set, Bet. Have you all seen this game?
Oh yeah, real time horse race betting.
So stoked to play this game. It just, I don't know. I don't even want that. There's an app assisted part of it.
Oh, no.
I want to roll the dice. And I want to call the horses.
Half the game's what they call the caller, the person rolling the dice and yelling, "Hey, here comes the 4-horse. The 4-horse just moved 3 spaces. Oh, the 7's catching up."
Yeah. That's an end of night. That's an end of the night con, end of night game. You've had a couple of drinks, and you just want to get rowdy with it.
Yeah.
That's a rowdy game.
Sure. And it's John DeClaire, right? He's a good game designer. I like a lot of his stuff. But yeah, that's one I'm really looking forward to. There was another game I was kind of mentioning. I can't remember. I wish it was I sent him there. I thought it might have been for sale, but it wasn't. So I was kind of disappointed about that. But all the cool stuff they had at Gen Con, dude, that hopefully I'm going to go next year. But it'd have been cool to see the Bigfoot truck.
Oh yeah.
And they had the spin the wind.
Was that Bigfoot tied to a game? What was the purpose of the truck being there?
Yeah, it was.
Anybody know?
It was the actual Bigfoot game. I'm pretty sure.
It was some game about monster trucks.
Mondo Games, but I think it's actually a Bigfoot themed board game. I might be wrong though. It sounds. I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. Anyways, what else they had over there at Gen Con that kind of. Oh, did you see the Funkoverse? I don't know if y'all play that, but they have the monsters from the 50s or whatever, like Frankenstein. They're all actually in black and white.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're all the actual colors in black and white. So one, I got really excited for. I used to play this a lot. I had a bunch of it, but I don't even know where it's at right now. Is Heroescape.
Oh, I was about to bring that up.
Avalon Hills.
I
going to be
felt
bringing
like
it
that
out.
would be up your alley.
So I heard Tom Vassell from Dice Star was talking about it. Hey, Ron, give me a shout out. All right. I just saw it. Tom Vassell was talking about it. He said that he was kind of skeptical about it at first because they tried to relaunch Heroescape before, and it failed miserably, and they just gave up.
This will be the third try, I think.
Through it. Right. Actually sticking through it, from what he's heard. The miniatures aren't painted, but it's also going to be backwards compatible with original Heroescape stuff.
Nice. I didn't
So,
realize
like,
they weren't
I
going to
mean-
be painted. That's kind of a detractor for me. I'm
Yeah, I didn't
less
know that
excited.
either.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing because like they showed at Gen Con the little display. They had the HeroScape display, and all the miniatures were painted. I don't know if that was, it might have been a little bit deceiving to some people, me
Yeah.
included. But
My guess is that's got to be a
one of the perks
cost.
to getting HeroScape.
Yeah, that's got to be a
was,
cost-saving
everything was
measure, I would
painted.
imagine, to keep it affordable because
Oh,
all the
yeah,
content that
yeah.
the people are going to have to buy. And no, that was a big deal, and that's the big hurdle now is to go back and try to buy all that stuff. It's just so much stuff to actually to buy to have to play with. But hopefully that's the reason. Hopefully it'll keep the price down, and you'll be able to buy more stuff.
But
Or
the
if you're like
interesting
me,
is,
you still have all your old stuff, and now you can just
Yeah.
add into it. That's what I'm
Sweet.
excited about.
I'm
But all-
glad I
all
taken
Taking
up
up
my
a
stuff.
whole section of my shelf.
Wait till I show up with my Marvel set, and I've got the Hulk and Abomination, and
Yeah.
but the
they're
problem
all
is
overpowered.
all of that old stuff was painted though, right?
Yes.
So you buy
Everything
the
was
new
painted.
stuff that's not
Yeah.
painted, and the old stuff that's painted. How can you like? Probably the people that
Okay,
have all the old
listen,
stuff can paint their new stuff.
I
but
always
I'm not a
say this
painter.
thing. It's like first world problems, right? Is the thing I say. You board gamers, right, are coming at it from a place of, well, if I want it all painted. I'm used to playing war games where one person you play against has a painted army, and then the other person you play against is all primed,
Yeah.
and the other person is just flat plastic. I don't care what
Right.
colors they are.
So
I-
what
and
you're
I've never-
saying is my Blood Bowl army doesn't need to be painted, is what I'm hearing, Rob. Or Carlos.
Right. I have half my armies aren't painted. I play with them just the way they are.
I've got to say, I've never played HeroScape, but David Carlton in the chat, from what I've heard, I think I'd have to agree that HeroScape is all about the terrain. That was it. The people buying the cool terrain, the all that kind of stuff. The minis are okay. The minis do what they do, and they're themed. You've got the cards, and they have their abilities and stuff on there. But the terrain is, I think that's what people really kind of ooh and ah over is those the bridges, the water, the lakes, the rivers, the mountains. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
And like they have lava flow and stuff like that, like in
Yep.
the videos that y'all show. But so like when I used to play HeroScape, we used to build these big, huge terrain pieces, maps, crazy maps and stuff like that. But my buddy Dustin Mitchell knows, who lives in
Boatman,
New
yeah.
Iberia. Yeah, Dustin Boatman. He played HeroScape competitively, and he
Wow.
said that the maps that they would build were actually smaller, but those were the better maps for that style of play,
Force
And, like,
interaction,
'cause
I would
in my
imagine.
mind, I played HeroScape. I'm like, we got 2 tables set up,
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
were
I
making
remember
this
in
huge
college,
map, dude. With,
we spent like weeks creating this huge map, and then we all get in for like a big battle royale, and it's like, okay, we got to take 5 turns just to get in range of each other.
Yeah.
So I get that.
yeah,
That's funny.
but yeah, that's one I'm excited for,
You
and
know,
I'm
thinking
hoping to play
back,
Ready Set Bet soon.
I'm sorry. That's thinking back. We didn't use. I never played HeroScape, but we definitely used the terrain when we were playing Mech Warrior. And
Oh god, BattleTech, Mech
BattleTech,
Warrior,
Mech Warrior,
anything with
HeroClix.
hexes.
Yeah.
People took all that terrain to use.
Yeah, it's like a cheaper alternative, or it works for not any kind of miniature game you can use that terrain for, But yeah, it was the price point was like super good too when it first came out. You get like this big huge box for like $40, $50. I'm not too sure. It was like the Rise of the Valkyrie or whatever, the starter set, and you get like so much terrain, dude. Like, it was insane how much they packed in that original box.
I think what I was so sad about that original box, the Valkyrie box that you're talking about, was I saw it at Walmart and at Target for so many years, ignoring it because I never bought anything. Back then, Target wasn't your go-to place for games. Walmart was not your go-to place for games. You saw it over there, it was garbage.
Junk.
It was, Right. I ignored the crap out of it. Then I got introduced to it, and I could never find that starter box. That was the best deal in gaming. The amount of stuff that came in that the wall, you had a wall. I mean, it was just, I kicked myself for never having got into it at the beginning.
So yeah, if you don't have a HeroScape, you might want to do some garage selling, find some old ladies that have it stored up and trying to get rid of stuff. But yeah.
Now I know what Dugas does on the weekends. Garage sales, finding ladies.
That's a Louisiana thing.
Ladies at garage sales.
That's my thing. Right. All right, guys. Thank you.
Take care, Dugas.
Appreciate it. Thanks for calling in.
Oh.
But I got to point out.
Speaking of HeroScape,
Oh, so
sorry,
real
hi,
quick, I
Matt.
just got to point out we're hitting our first hour. So just so y'all know, that first hour flew by for me, but we're doing 2 hours tonight, so we're halfway there. But go ahead.
Speaking of HeroScape, two things. So first of all, Jeremy, I know you're in the chat. You promised me a while
gonna
back
screen
you
this
had
call.
a bunch of HeroScape minis you used for D&D that you no longer use that you were going to let me have since I actually own HeroScape. So just calling you out on that. And two, a couple weeks ago during Dice Tower East, my buddy Will called in and asked if we knew what game he should play if he liked HeroScape. Well, now we can say, just get HeroScape.
HeroScape. Just wait a few months and
There you
yeah,
go.
get one
Yeah.
for HeroScape. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't believe I never played HeroScape growing up, but yeah, I mean, I've heard so much about it the last couple of years.
As I think back, we just used the terrain for every other game possible. We never actually played HeroScape because there was
Yeah.
other games we want to play that were more complex or whatever. And I know
Sure.
Carlos is screening a call, but I think, talking about Ready, Set, Bet, I've seen a couple of videos now of people playing that game, and that's going to be a fun game to play in a group of like 8 to 10 people where you can get into it. You got to get people that are into that fast-paced betting, people calling out numbers and throwing down like
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Sounds
a
like
fun
a lot
game.
of fun.
Yeah, that game just sounds like a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, we got a caller in here from Florida, another Florida caller, our buddy James, aka Burgundy Undefeated, Odak.
Jay Odak.
What's up,
How's
Jim?
it going, Jim?
It's going, man. It's going.
James is going to talk about, he wants to talk about some Carnegie today. And I was like,
Oh,
beautiful.
Just started
talk
a game
to
of that.
us about Carnegie.
So I got to play it to my buddies up in Raleigh, and we had 2 4-player games going at the same time. I really liked it. It's one of those games that's got a lot going on, and things could go bad fast.
Go ahead, Rob. Extract some info from him, Rob.
Well, yeah, as I say, we just set up a game on Board Game Arena. I guess it's in beta there, and so I got invited to a game. I don't know if you're in on that game or not, but I was like, oh, sure, I'll jump in. I've been wanting to try that game. I pulled up the interface for the first time today and that screen, and I just kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I was like, how many boards are there in this game? You've got about 4 or 5 different boards.
Yeah, I'm in that game too. It's a little bit harder on BGA than it was in person.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
far.
like hearing that, but yeah, I definitely want to jump in. I got to watch some videos. I haven't watched anything on it yet.
I think Carnegie is like Barrage, where you almost have to play it in person first before you go to BGA. But that like slide rule thing on the side of the boards at Carnegie just looks like such a cool mechanism. That like how was that in actual gameplay? Like where you're sliding out the side of your board as you're developing the technologies or the industries.
That wasn't a big thing. I mean, that was just another mechanism to track what you got to do.
Okay.
I mean, the bigger thing is that randomized, because there's 20 turns, right? No matter what you do, there's going to be 20 turns. But there's like the randomized board when you choose one of the 4 actions versus one of the 4 locations or donating. That right there alone is like the big mechanism of the game. I mean, you got to kind of plan out where you're putting your guys, and you got to look on there to see if you put them in the right location. Like the game I ended playing up, the Midwest like all came up first, and then there was like no more Midwest. Nobody had all their meeples workers stuck in the Midwest, except me. Yeah, like one guy, you have an option of, so somebody has to choose one of the 4 actions. You have a token where one time you can not do that and do whatever you want. And he made the mistake of doing that, and then the next 3 people that went did the same thing. And so basically he had like no turn for 3 turns in a row. It's a cool game. I like games where there's like a lot going on and you have to like really have a plan, and you have to be really flexible, which may be why I do well at Castles and Burgundy.
When I think it's Carnegie and Gutenberg are the 2 kind of like games that are sort of compared, but I think Carnegie seems to be several levels more complex than what Gutenberg is.
Certainly looks like it. Yeah.
I haven't played Gutenberg yet. I tried to get into it, just didn't have time at the Dice Tower.
Gutenberg was fairly light. I was a little surprised at how quick. I wouldn't say light, I guess, but it was real quick to explain. It was not a ton going on, but again, just kind of looking at Carnegie for the first time on the board game arena, I was like, wow, there seems to be a lot, and I think that's how you let off your call, is that there's a pretty good amount of stuff going on in this game, and so I'm sure we'll work through it. We'll figure it out as we go, but yeah, it looks like there's definitely a lot going on.
Yeah.
What else have you played? I know you've been doing a lot of gaming lately. I've been seeing and hearing you post up stuff.
Yeah, well, my buddy I went to visit in Raleigh, he's the one that got me into gaming. He's got 4 walls full of shelves with games on them.
Nice.
Played. He has Scythe. I never say that right.
Scythe. Okay, yeah.
Blown.
City.
Yeah, you gotta say that in.
Keep going, Rob.
It's a
Keep going.
hard C.
How many ways can you? I mean, they just
Skid.
celebrated their 6th
Skid.
birthday.
Skids. Skiddy. Scoody. Skeed.
We could do this all day.
Skivvy. But yeah, that's a good one. What did you think of Scythe for the first time?
Well, it's not the first time I played it. It's the first time I played it with all the pieces and expansions.
Oh, gotcha.
I got to play one of the factions that I never played before, and I really enjoyed it.
Who'd you play?
One of the 2 from Fenris. I can't remember the name of it. The one that gets to choose the different mech powers.
Ooh, I can't remember. We played through Fenris, but it's been a while.
Choose a different mech powers. Which one's that one?
Yeah, you get like a deck of like 12 or 16 mech powers, and you got to draw like 5 of them, and then of those 5, you could pick which ones you want to put on instead of.
Right, I remember. Yeah, you put them out before the game starts. You pick them and put them out. But yeah, you can have different ones from different games. So I remember that race, but I don't remember. I have no clue who that was. But
Is it the
cool.
girl?
Yeah.
Like his daughter? I don't remember.
Yeah, I guess we
The
don't want to
light,
spoil
the light
anything.
blue. Oh yeah, we can't spoil. Stop.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
sorry.
I'm sorry. It's
Redacted.
been a few years. I think
The
the
statute of
spoiler-
limitations has run on that. Yeah.
I think it's over at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, we thank you for the update.
Yeah.
The Carnegie is on my list. It is on my list. Board Game Nexus in the chat says we really like Carnegie too.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because I had just pulled up their website because I remember they did a video on it.
Yeah.
And they did a playthrough, so that's a great place to watch and play it. I know Carnegie's on my list. So
And
hopefully,
sorry, go ahead, girls.
yeah, hopefully we'll see James this weekend at the Beans and
Yeah, I was going to
Dice
ask
Game.
James, you gonna make it out to your turn this weekend?
Yeah, I want to try to get in the Great Wall, man.
Awesome. Okay.
I got to ask,
They got the full-blown version there, so.
We got a question coming in from Louisiana.
in the 3rd game of the tourney, are you still look like you're going to continue being undefeated? How's
The
that
Burgundy
third going?
tournament?
Tournament?
I hope so. I actually, because I was, out this weekend with my buddy, and I was kind of doing turns really quickly, so I gotta
I'm gonna buckle down. Can't ruin this record.
pay a little more attention.
He's trying to create the asterisks on why.
Mhm.
My side of the
look.
Hey,
Connor's
My side of
slipping right there.
I got to win the game, right?
So I say my side of the bracket hasn't even started our 3rd game yet. We're still waiting for I think one more group to finish up their 2nd game.
Wow.
Yeah, we're on the last stage of our 2nd game here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to eke it out. This C2OE.
That's Connor.
Oh, that's
is that Connor? Oh, there you go.
Why can't y'all people use real names? He is catching up. Yeah, he is coming quick on me.
Mm.
I'm paying attention to the show, though. I know BGA's up, and I'm clicking. I'm still paying attention to the show.
Yeah,
I
you're
can
just
do it
playing
all.
your game on the side. Sure.
Oh, look, there's Connor in the comments. He wants
There
to
you
win.
go.
Have a good night, Jim. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for calling in, Jim. See you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
I was
Carlos,
gonna say, as
pull that
Carlos
back
would say, Carnegie is the kind of game that I would love just based on the cover. So
Yeah, if you can find an old white guy and throw him on the cover and make him look sad, that is Wayne's type of game. Let me actually. I don't even.
Carlos
see
got
this
another call coming in.
I know this
Hey.
person. They're in my
Oh,
chat.
go ahead.
They're in
Put
my
'em up.
phone. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name and why we should keep talking to you, bro.
It's Dave from Bartow, and I like to do painting stuff. I don't know.
Oh,
Dice
painting
Tower
stuff.
rip, baby. That's your comment every time. R.I.P.
Every time I hear
DTE. Welcome to the show, David. How you doing, brother?
Oh, hey, am I live? I thought I was being screened.
I
Oh,
knew who
he-
it was,
He saw your name pop up. He figured
and
he'd put
I
you
wasn't
straight
even
on.
going to try to warn you about cuss words. I figured
Yeah,
they're
just don't
coming.
drop any F bombs.
Wait, we got to be civil now? You guys are all famous and have designers calling
We have
in
500
crap,
subscribers. You know,
Listen,
we're
when
big
you
time.
call in, I don't change a thing. We can go back to old school beans and dice.
There we go. What have you been up to, David?
All right, man. Moving mostly. So yeah, I moved from the Tampa area over to the Lakeland area. So not a very big move, but when you haven't moved in 18 years, any move is a big move.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you improve the distance between you and your turn on this move?
It's probably about the same, maybe a little bit better. I don't have to drive through Tampa, so that's always better. But
that's what the Lakeland folks tell me, is that their drive to your turn isn't as bad as we would think because they go around Tampa to make it up to your turn.
Right, yeah. If I head up 98, I can hit Zephyr Hills from the side. It's probably a little bit easier to get there from there than going from Tampa.
Definitely sometimes better to hit it from the side. It works out.
Yeah.
Enough said. No, I'm going to try and get up there. Usually the problem is I'm doing music stuff nowadays, so like Saturdays is usually spent rehearsing or gigging. So then I'm going to try and get up there this week, though, because it's been a long time.
Wilder,
we'd love to
right?
see you on Saturday,
Wilder,
Supernova, and a couple other projects. So yeah,
check them out, folks, on the Facebook. Wilder's the band, the group. I got to watch them play, and I got to record some video footage for them. Great group of folks.
Yeah, we still use those videos. That's whenever we're checking it out a new club, they say, you guys have anything on your YouTube, it's Carlos's videos. So
sweet.
But now, so the biggest problem for me, and maybe some people I know, some of the guys have made longer distance moves than I did, but like I said, our big thing was downsizing. I went from a huge game room office to now basically a small bedroom. So I had to pare down my collection from probably 220 games down to probably 120 maybe. And again, first world problems. But yeah, what I used to fit was like I had a little calyx that was like all my top games, Blood Rage, Rising Sun, all my card games, stuff like that. Those are the ones I kept just separated because anytime someone wanted to play something, I'd go to that case first. I'm like, let's see what we got over here. But now that's pretty much where my collection sits, is that and like two other small shelves. So that was a big challenge.
Yeah, I saw you posted up. You were downsizing everything. I saw you posting furniture and games and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we went from a 2,500 square foot house down to just over 1,500. So
that's
like
a big change.
So yeah, but it kind of makes you say like, do I love this game? Will I play it? Do I play this game? I'd rather you sell it. I don't care if I make money on it. I'd rather somebody else who's going to play it and enjoy it, rather than collect dust on my shelf. I can only get so many games in. Most of the games I buy is because I go and play it with somebody, or it comes out and it's got a lot of hype, and I'm like, I got to have that game, and I have it, and I never play my copy.
Yeah.
I had a copy of Terraforming Mars for 4 years. Never played my copy ever because everyone has a copy. So.
Well, I got to say, I've never done a big cull of my collection. I've never done a big cutting down, and I don't think Carlos has either. But even when I've been forced to choose a few games, like even for our holiday,
remember the Christmas event?
Yeah, our holiday. That's what I was going to say. Our holiday Christmas game exchange, and I had committed that I was going to bring 4 or 5 games off my shelf that I hadn't played recently. It took me almost a month to kind of go through it. It was a bit cathartic, though. I mean, it was a good exercise to go through and be like, all right, which games can I not live without? Which games am I, I don't play, but I still want to play, or that I want to play more. But which ones, even though for whatever reason I'm just holding on to them, but I can just let them go. And being able to go to our event during the holiday, and being able to give those games away and see other people excited about getting those games really was a good exercise. Really made me feel good about it. So
we got to get you some Mary Kondo. What sparks joy for you, Rob?
Exactly. Spark joy or something like that. Yeah.
That is the hardest
joy, but like then you got to put it on a sliding scale. It's like, is this a 10? Is this an 8?
Exactly.
Is this a 7?
Reassess everything.
Yeah. No,
if I let this game go, can I go play it with Rob or Carlos or your turn? Do I have other options to play this game if I don't own it? You know,
Absolutely.
So, like, some
Absolutely.
games is hard to find. It's hard to find. It's hard to let those go. Lots
I
of
have
games
some
I paint.
friends-
So like, even if there's another copy, there's never going to be one like mine.
I have some friends that really, really want me to downsize Connor, because he wants to pick up my games on the cheap, but I am a hoarder. There are games that I self-admit I will probably never willingly play again unless someone begs me. But the couple times I've sold games, I've fully regretted them. So you guys are stronger than me that you can do that, David. But I'm a hoarder, and I can admit it. You can make a TV show about me if you want, but
I
more
tell
power
you
to
what,
you.
it was the Your Turn board game cafe had their flea market.
Flea market, yeah.
And I knew like a month or two out that it was coming, and I'm like, well, I gotta get rid of some games because like I'm out of shelf space, and I gotta start cutting down. And it was really tough, but you know what? Like letting go of some of these games, like I sold some games that I had duplicate copies of, and I'm like, but it's out of print, and I have 2 copies of it, so I need. But what I don't need 2 copies of a game, you know. It's like getting rid of that extra copy of Union Pacific was cathartic, man.
Yeah,
Carlos
that's a
doesn't
little
understand
crazy.
that.
You don't need
Yeah,
2
I-
copies.
Yeah, but
I have
I-
2
no,
copies of
the-
Rallyman
the-
GT. I have 4
You see-
copies of, Baseball Highlights 2045.
you can see the shelf behind
3
me. This is
copies
one
of Memoir 44.
Show us where the MSRP hurt you, Carlos.
Yeah, exactly. Here's one of like 5 shelves of RPG books I have. And
I have a
I'm
confession to make, David.
literally never going to use like 1,000 RPG books from first
Yeah,
edition D&D to 5th edition.
sorry, go
It's time
ahead.
to get rid of them all. You know, it's just
I'm confessing, David. I'm confessing
Oh,
here.
there you go.
The Your Turn flea market was coming, right? And like one of the kids got sick. And wifey's expectation was I was going to go out there and like sell a bunch of old games because, we had to buy an upgraded car seat for the baby because she's bigger now. And I'm like, I just can't risk taking that virus out to all those people. I was fine.
Using COVID as an excuse
Yeah,
to fuel your
I
addiction.
really wanted to go. I still have stuff that I need to sell off that's in boxes that we moved. I was trying to get it all sold before we moved, but I knew our move date was coming before the flea market. So I'm like, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm just going to separate them. I'm going to make sure they're all together and leave them in a corner. And 2 things happened. One, I didn't get unpacked as quickly as I wanted to, so I couldn't get everything organized to really take it up there. And we were exhausted from a week of just trying to fit everything in. And 2, I should never go to a board game sale with thousands of dollars in the bank from selling my house. That would always turn out badly.
This-
Wah,
we're
That would
going-
always turn out badly. I would come home with way more money, or way more board games.
Way
than
less money.
So I was like, I can't.
Mm.
So,
Well, I tell you what,
who used to have a really good board game sale was Dice Tower Con, but unfortunately they're not around anymore. Anyway,
R.I.P.
so and actually HeroScape came up. I did sell my HeroScape collection because I had 4 starter sets, the Swarm of Tomorrow thing,
I have that
a
one.
bunch of stuff. My son was about 8 years old when that came out, and it hit just all the right checkpoints. So like we played it for a couple of years, and then it went into Sterilite, storage containers for years. I pull it out for the occasional war game that I could use it for, but the minis and all the system stuff never got touched. I actually sold it off. Probably good I did, because I probably wouldn't have got as much money,
Oh, with the new
relaunch
announcement, you're right.
Yeah. You bring up a good
But-
point. I haven't
but
even
it
thought of
worked out
playing
for
that
me.
with my kids, man. I need to try that. Thank you for
Yeah,
for
big
mentioning
hit.
that.
Oh yeah. If the original game had 2 sides of the card, and that's what I put in the comment. It was either too
Yep.
simple or too complex. And I say that not like guys that play Warhammer have all these words and keywords. It's not that complex, but it was just like for the target audience, either you get a couple games in with the simple version and it's fun, and then it's like, all right, well, I want more. I want like more rules of how this fight works. And you flip it over the other side, and now it's like you're doing sliding rule charts and trying to figure out all the keywords, how they affect each other. It was just a little much. And they put them on those oversized, very cool looking cards, but when you try and manage an army or a list, it's terrible.
Terrible.
So, like,
Terrible.
It was great, but also not great. Yeah, terrible.
Terrible.
But no, the
So-
cards had a lot of great information. I wanted to talk about this too because I think it originally came up under Ron Fraser's conversation, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
And I wanted to come back. Don't wanted to circle back, but the call's been good. Keep it going, folks. That system has a line of sight system that Robert hates flat out, where it talks about.
I don't hate it.
And look at the
Put your
eye
head
and
behind the model, and you look over its head, and then depending on what it sees, you know, on the other enemy, will determine the line of sight. But the cards have a silhouette that's color coded to tell you if you can see these body parts, right? That counts as line of sight. There's no other miniatures game that has that in their rule book. Maybe what's that? War Machine. They did a great job because they had the whole cylindrical system, which I loved. Kind of like imagine a cylinder on top of the model. Anyway, but that's what HeroScape did well. Is it introduced non-war gamers into line of sight mechanisms, and it provided you like a guide on that card. It's a great call out.
Tell you, it has great memories.
It's a definite great.
Go ahead.
It's a huge gateway to wargaming. Sorry. Yeah, there's a little bit of delay here. I think it's a huge gateway to wargaming though, because you understand, like, you know, you start introducing, you know, kids or new gamers to concepts of tactical deployment, and like Mitchell was talking about, sometimes it takes the moves to get up, and you don't want to move all the way up because then your move returns over, and now they move up and shoot at you. So you get that, you get the advantage. It had a built-in advantage for heights, and it counted like, because it was individual pieces stacked, however many pieces stacked. If it was double the height or whatever, you got a bigger advantage. So it was or disadvantage if you're shooting up. So no, it had some great concepts in it. It was just like you almost had to house rule the whole thing to make it in that sweet spot in the middle. Not too simple, not too crazy complex, but no, we had a lot of fun with it. It just, you know, once we got past that and graduated into more complex systems, it just didn't come out other than the terrain.
I still remember in college, I was mentioning a while ago, we made this huge map. I mean, we're a bunch of college guys, freshmen and sophomores. We're in the middle of a battle, and it was so big it wouldn't fit on a table. It was in our dorm room. It would be stored under one of my friend's beds. It wouldn't even fit under his twin bed. It was that wide. All on the ground, trying to get down to the perspective of the characters, like, I could see a millimeter of that wing, you know, like it's just those tactile experiences that you remember. So
Mitchell's college experiences, my early, like, you know, mid-30s experience.
Well, there's a trade.
I'm like, well, college? No, that came out way later than that.
I had kids at the time,
I did.
which I did. There's a comment trail in the chat that kind of like squeezed there, and I just got to
read along.
It. Yeah. So here's Joshua, and he's talking about, this is like 12-year-old me's dream come true. HeroScape is back. Be right back. I'm shrieking like a little girl. Holy crap! Holy crap! I'm freaking out, y'all.
What's
this
up,
is
Josh?
so near and dear to me. I am crying. Like,
that's cool, man. That's cool, man.
Awesome.
And when you get those unpainted minis, I do paint minis for a reasonable fee. So
there you go.
Do you make house calls to Louisiana?
You can ship stuff.
You can ship me stuff.
Oh, that exists. I think there's a board game about that.
There is.
Oh yeah,
USPS.
Both
Yeah.
eBay and
Absolutely.
I'm a little sad they're not painted already.
All right, guys, I'll let you go. I've enjoyed the call. I've enjoyed watching the show so far. It's been a while. I've been kind of discombobulated for the last.
Well, I'm glad we
2-3
can stay
months,
up a little later, kind of in line with your, you know, that way you can get stuff done during the day and then catch us up before bed. I appreciate it.
Carlos was always like, the show's at 9 o'clock, and I look at the clock and it's like 9:45. I was like, oh, maybe I'll catch the last few minutes.
There you go.
Thanks for calling, David. Don't be a stranger.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Yep. I was saying, David, just keep an eye on Your Turn Con in October, November. They're gonna have November. They're gonna have another big sale,
big flea market.
Flea market. Yeah.
I want to do a quick call out to some buddies in the chat. Looked like they were here for the first time. Laney, which Rob and Carlos, you guys met at Sobo, played Ankh with her. And then Josh Bala, who's actually an aspiring game designer. He just play tested his game at Gen Con, actually.
Oh, cool.
Coalition. So hopefully some of them might call in and talk about some gaming stuff. Yes, that is going to be calling you guys out. Please call.
Yeah, we got another 40 minutes. So call in 813-618-7099. The phone line is, I believe, open, although it looks like Carlos may be screening another call.
Yeah.
Oh, we may have another caller on. Yeah, that's good.
Isn't that cool? Like, I get a chance to like actually screen a phone call, but on the line with us now, Nick Obin from Chapel.
Witness me.
Witness me.
Hey, happy Thursday, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
Doing swell. Glad to hear you.
Yeah. Couple of quick things. I've been taking notes here. First of all, the long format is rocking. I love it.
You liking it?
So
Sweet.
I'm gonna be the first in the audience to officially request a repeat. At least maybe a 90-minute format. Because I feel like the hour you guys fill up, like Rob even pointed out, like it feels like it goes by in no time.
Yep.
I'm digging it. Number 2, Carlos, nice mug. Love
Oh,
it. Love the mug.
I think
Nice guy
Carlos
gave it
was
to
a,
me.
was a number 2, but
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Yes, enjoying the show. I did not attend Gen Con, so I don't have any. I'm the Gen Can't, crowd. But
we all are.
Happy to talk about the game a day streak still alive. Wanted your viewers to know. Here we are. We made it to August 11th, and every single day have still played a game in person this year. So
nice.
Yeah, achievement need to be unlocked. Today we did Mystic Veil, which
Nice.
was with the boys, and I posted about this on the Facebook, but Landis created a deck that I like every turn I would watch and be like, is this kid cheating? Like, what's going on? It was wild. He beat my top score by a noticeable number and just crushed it. I mean, for those that don't know Mystic Veil, the timer on the game is there's a set number of point tokens, and when the point tokens run out, you finish the round and then you're done. And he had, I think there was like 28 point tokens in the 3-player game, and he had, I think, 20 of them. And then his deck was then worth more than like what Leo scored, and almost more than what my total score. It was wild. So neat to see, neat proud dad moment. I've long since stopped helping him at those kind of games because he doesn't need it. He's good to go. So
He has to be careful. Mystic Veil is one of the few games my wife likes, but my buddy Doug and his wife also likes Mystic Veil, but our wives will not play us anymore because we always crushed him like that. So he may run you off of playing Mystic Veil. You got to be careful.
That's right. No, that'd be fun. We have plenty of other games to play. It's okay. And it's neat to see them actually shine in different games, because like Leo will do really well in push your luck games. Because that is his modus operandi. He is a push your luck kind of guy. He's gonna be the kid that takes me to the emergency room, not on my behalf, but on his at some point, I'm sure. But he does well at push your luck games because he embraces that mindset. Landis is definitely more methodical like that. But anyways, the other thing I had is it is Kickstarter season again. It always is. And want to have you guys bring up Arcana Rising, new game that we just got. Actually, we did pretty well. This one, I think, sat on our shelf literally for just a day, and then we had it on the table. We played it 2 days in a row, and little did I know, it is like It's a Wonderful World. So I just played It's a Wonderful World for the first time on BGA yesterday. And they share the mechanic of it is a drafting game where every turn you decide to basically, well, in It's a Wonderful World, you're drafting, and then you finish and you have to decide what cards are you actually constructing versus which cards are you using for resources. In Arcana Rising, you have to make that decision real time. Every turn you draft a card, and you either add it to your list of spells that you can cast later, or you use the turn to discard that card. You can hate draft, you can discard a card and instead cast your spells, but only certain spells. And that's a neat part of reading the game and checking it out. Is every round is 6 turns, and so there's 3 rounds of 18 turns, period. Kind of like what James was talking about for Carnegie, how there's like 20 turns done. This game is 18 turns and then you're done. So it's tight. Again, similar to It's a Wonderful World, where it's 7 cards in 4 rounds, and you just have to do what you got to do. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It ends up being very tight, and it's that same decision point every draft of, oh, this is a great spell that I can cast later, or crap, I really want to cast spells this turn because it lets me, use my green, my blue discipline or whatever. So it's been a lot of fun, and I had no idea that they shared that same mechanic. So if you like It's a Wonderful World, but you want to cast spells, I do recommend Arcana Rise.
I really love how you tried your best to add theme to these games, bro. Because like you talked all that and it almost sounded right, and all I can think was, so I take cube and turn cube to different color cube and then place
That's
cube.
That's what it's all about, baby. Cube to cube.
When did Rob
excited, Carlos.
become your doppelganger, man? Come on.
I got all excited. You were talking about cube.
Because I was excited to play It's a Wonderful World, and then we played it, and I was like, I take cube and move cube and color cube and got general cube.
Oh, such a good game. Such a good game.
I like this cube voice, Carlos. It needs to become a bit.
That's your new Rob voice. I move cube.
It's a Wonderful World, and I see you got Arcana Rising up, but I guess it doesn't have a BGG page or something with actual pictures. It is a little more thematic because you have to spend, well, I don't know. It doesn't have cubes, but it doesn't have cubes, but it has tokens.
Tokens, almost as good as cubes, but not quite.
Yeah,
those look like cubes to me, bro.
No, they're not.
But the middle section there and the way that you build your engine, it's a little, I don't know.
We have abacuses. We've leveled
Abaci.
up. We've got
Abaci, thank you.
The abacus is actually our
English is not his first
least
language.
favorite part. It is the abacuses are the epitome. I don't even use this term except in joking normally, but it's the epitome of overproduced.
Please tell me that is not an actual component of the game. I mean, Jeremy Dobler is also asking this. Is this really a component of the game?
100%. That is in the game. And look at the other components, right? Look at them. It's a small foldable board, and it's 3 small decks of cards and 10 nice poker chips. So those abacuses, those things take up half the effing box, right? So it's like this game could fit like in a little lunch bag, but
I think
we need those things.
What's the price tag on this? Do we know?
We need to decide: is it abacus or is it abaci?
We'll let the chat decide.
It's a vote. Put it to the chat.
Nick, do you know how much this costs?
So that's I don't know. It was a Kickstarter, so it's past money, right? And it was great. It's Great Fox Games, so it's really past money. You know what I'm saying? But that was a little bit of a little dig for Lorenzo there. He hates Great Fox Games.
I mean, that's got to be half of the component cost right there. Just those guys, at least.
Yeah, and it's stupid. I mean, you acquire points throughout the game, so you do need a way to track points throughout the game. But designers solved it a long time ago with a score track around that central board there, right? Like that's what they just need. And like everyone could have like a little player token, and you put it there and you track your score. Because as it is, those old counters, whatever they're called, abacus size.
Foosball scores, according to Jim.
Foosball scores.
You pick them up and like hold them at an angle, then all the discs slide, and you're like, "Oh crap! Did I have 38 or 36? I forget." So it's not even an effective component. It does try to put the theme, I guess, your old timey counting little thingies or whatever, but it's nice. I do like the disciplines, and since you had it up there, there you go. Yep, those guys. Since you had the game up there, you saw the tokens in the middle. The way it works is every turn, only 2 of the 5 available disciplines or spell disciplines can be cast. So it does really kind of become an extra little decision point, different from It's a Wonderful World, where when I say you can decide to cast or draft this turn, you can only cast, like in there, the red and the purple. And so then you have to look down and be like, well, I don't care about red and purple, so I'll definitely go ahead and add to my tableau. But if you do care about the red and the purple, then you have that really tough decision where it's like, crap, there's a great spell here that I want to add to my tableau, but I really want to run my engine, the red and the purple part of my engine, that is, and so it's fun. It's neat.
I'll admit that the views of the board game components and better than It's a Wonderful World.
The art looks really cool.
Yeah, look at it.
Man, some of those cards.
Yeah, and you got the disciplines are thematic. I mean, it's like
These
the one-
poker
like
chips
the
that you
blood-
insert into that cutout tableau in the center. Yeah, I see what you're talking about here.
Jeremy in the chat, Nick, he's
So I will
asking,
be
do you know if the abacuses are already constructed, or do you have to do the job for them and put them together?
Punch them and put them together.
They a good question. They are constructed, but you can clearly see where it is. It's like basically it's a foam structure that's been glued to, it's multi-layers that have been glued together, and that's how they put it together. But it's constructed, but again, it takes up half the freaking box.
And
so
it's
I'm
made
thinking about,
made of foam.
Yes, it's foam with like sticker on the top for the prettiness, but really, it's not like it's a wood thing or whatever. They're like foam. Yeah.
Well, good, because Lainey in the chat says she would abacus if she had to put them together.
No, that was actually Rich that made that joke first.
Yeah, it was a
She was laughing
few
at-
comments up,
Yeah,
but
a few
yeah.
comments up.
No, I missed it.
Yeah.
Last time I heard abacus was
I-
in Amsterdam.
ABBA, Dancing Queen, ABBA.
I see what he did there.
Yeah.
That's a deep pun, bro. That is like 2-layered pun. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't normally compliment you on your puns, Wayne. They're usually like dad crap.
No,
but
that was
good.
Rich. That was
That's Rich. That's
Oh,
Rich.
That was Rich.
That's
Okay,
Rich.
That's why.
Read the comments. Read the comments.
Ah.
Although Rich and I have a like mind, we've been playing a bunch of Just One, and what we realized that Rich and I's mentality and age hits where everyone else is
Y'all
gonna
get things that other people don't.
Yeah, pretty much.
That Venn diagram, it's like the two of them in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, man, it's good topics, man. You brought up some good stuff. I've never seen a board game with an abacus built in. Like, that's a first.
I will be bringing that box, abacus included, this Saturday, 2 days to your turn. So if
Awesome.
folks want to try it. I also I committed to bringing Dead Reckoning. So
I was going to
we
ask.
played Mystic Vale.
Mystic Vale, the pirate
Yeah, we
game.
played-
You got to break the shrink on that one.
Yes, I literally did, and this rule book is intimidating. Fortunately, the Dead Reckoning was a Kickstarter that arrived some time ago, and it has sat in shrink. So there are at least a bunch of YouTube videos out there. I'm gonna treat it like I've been treating all these BGA games. I'll watch a YouTube video and hope it's good enough.
There you go.
And I'll bring them.
Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. But hey,
That's right.
Nick, anytime you want to give me more good stuff in that Seven Wonders Architects game, please, I could use some more help.
Some more help
Feed
on
me,
that one?
Seymour. Feed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, and early next
Fine,
week.
I just wrap-
Oh, so you, me, and Joe. I'm not planning to bring anything, so we're going to play some of those shiny Kickstarters that you got sitting on your shelf. But we gotta set up a day for that.
Cool. Oh yeah. I think Wednesday. I think if
Wednesday?
that works for Joe, and it works for you. Yeah.
Works for me. Wednesday.
I replied to the.
I'm glad they can plan out their social life while the viewers wait.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
this is riveting right here. Like, I'm
Yeah.
so glad I'm here.
Good night, Nick.
See you, Nick. Thanks for calling.
Have a good night.
As Mitchell's taking his next turn on BGA on his phone. Or
No, I
something.
was telling Lainey to start dialing because she was flipping out whenever she.
Oh
was
yeah,
calling
yeah.
this morning.
There's getting ready to be an opening.
Yeah, well, phone line's open, folks. 813-618-7099 is the number.
And now
Okay,
we-
I've never seen an abacus in a board game before. That's nonsense.
Yeah, that's definitely
phone?
different. Oh,
That's
phone's
not gonna
ringing.
last.
Made a
Is it
phone
Laney?
though. That's
Is
a
it
little
Laney?
disappointing.
Where's the area code, Carlos?
It's Iberia. Is it her? Do you think I should answer?
Or it's
You know, let's just jump in. Let's jump in.
Let it go to
It's late.
voicemail.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Oh my God, it's Lainey.
Hey, Laney, how are you?
It's Lainey from Lafayette.
No, hey, you wait.
From
Remember
Lafayette.
your roots. You are from New Iberia. You may live in Lafayette now.
I am from Iberia.
Oh, she's bougie now. Is that what it is?
Yeah, she's
no,
from a big
no,
city
I live
now.
in,
Come on,
I'm from,
Weezy.
I'm from
We moving up.
Iberia. Well, it's for being specific. I'm technically from Jackson, Mississippi. That's where I was born.
Ooh,
But
there
I
you go.
claim New Iberia mostly.
All right.
I like how she claims a set. You know,
Mhm.
I claim.
Claim
Hi,
New
Lonnie.
Iberia.
I
La-
claim New Iberia because I
Lainey.
lived there for the longest.
Laney's
Yeah.
been a while. We got to play, if I remember correctly, Mitch taught us
There's
Ankh.
Ankh. I don't know. how to
Ankh.
pronounce
Yeah, there you go. Ankh.
And,
Yep.
and wait, didn't we have to share a character?
it. Oh no, that was not you and me.
No,
that
that
was
was
You were-
Darnell.
Darnell from
Darnell on your right, not on your left.
Darnell,
Yeah.
He was there, knew this. Yeah.
I know we all tend to look alike to y'all, but
Oh
Oh my god.
you do.
I love how Mitch froze again.
Oh, Mitch is all frozen mid-laugh. His screen froze. Way to go, Mitch.
Oh my god.
Every time someone from Louisiana calls in, I'm gonna freeze.
You freeze up.
okay?
Yep.
That's because y'all have limited bandwidth out there.
You're all
in the
sharing one
swamp.
bandwidth out there in Liberia, in Lafayette.
It's not that bad. Okay, I'm in Lafayette. I'm in like the bougie Liberia.
Yeah.
All right, talk
Maybe,
about
I
board
don't know,
games,
I
lady.
don't know.
Talk about board games.
But
Talk
originally,
about board games. Okay, hello. So, I was told to say that I bought Doomlings, which I know is like a board game for like beginners, but I don't know. I like Doomlings.
I don't know that one.
I bought the.
No one's heard of it, Lainey.
It's,
Never heard of
I
it.
saw an
Explain
ad
it.
for it on TikTok actually. And I was like scrolling to TikTok and it was like Doomlings, get the upgraded box, and I was like, let me look into this because it was really pretty. And like I've had a lot of board games myself because I have like I play with people who just happen to have a big collection, so I'm lucky I haven't had to buy a lot.
I've
Wait, lady,
seen this
tell
game
them-
before.
Tell them the game that you
Huh?
won at Sobo. They will laugh. Please just say the name of it.
Oh, I won Vamp of the Batwalk.
Oh, Vamp of the
What-
Bat-
They
on the
make
Batwalk.
fun of me for that game. It's a good game.
It was
I
hilarious.
liked it. It was cute.
They've
Hilarious
got it on
when
re-
Mitchell first brought it up. The next day, Jamie Stegmeyer talked about it on his live
Yeah.
stream about how
Yeah.
much fun he had playing it after we dogged him the night before.
Yep, and I know they've got it on sale
I
right
like
now
that game. I think it's
at your
funny.
turn.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Talk about Doomlings.
Oh, but yeah, Doomlings. So it's like a card game, and the cards like are wild. Like there's like, okay, this round you can't play any of this kind of card. Like there's different rules every round. I don't know. I haven't learned it yet. But my thing is, I've never like taught a game to anyone, so I'm like excited about the learning aspect of it, like having to actually read the rule book. Because normally I just normally I'm the one that's being taught a game. I think every time I go to Mitch's house or like Jeremy's house to go play board games, I'm taught like the majority of the games that are played. I don't
I
think
feel
I've played
bad.
most of the games I've played twice.
So I've told you guys how me and Jeremy are trying to work our way through each other's collections. So I feel bad for the people caught in the crossfire, like Connor and Lainey, who it's like, if me and Jeremy are at the table, we're not allowed to play a game we've already played, or you know, in our list. And sometimes they're just like, please, can we just
fine.
play a game we already know? But you guys are lucky. I mean, since Dice Tower East the last month, I've played games like once or twice. You guys have been getting to repeat games because I wasn't here, so you're welcome.
Yeah, I have been getting repeat games. I really like Chocolate Factory. That one's probably the one.
Oh, that was too loud. I was really excited. It was one of my favorites.
I love Chocolate Factory. I like the aspect of like the fast pace, like I'm making chocolate. It's just cute. I'm new to board games. Like I didn't start playing board games until like November of this last year.
Yeah, she's
And I think
a quick
And it-
teach. She
we met you
learns-
in like
she picks up.
March. Like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, no, like I
I didn't
was
realize
not
you were that
playing
new into
board games for
gaming.
long.
You
Oh,
wouldn't
no,
think
I'm very-
so, huh?
I'm
Because
very
she's
into it,
sharp.
yeah.
She picks them up.
She must have a good teacher.
I'm smart. Oh, that's weird. No, I'm smart.
Was it the
I like-
picture
I
of
like to
Jeremy's
think I'm
face on
smart.
top of Mitchell's
I mean,
body?
I will say this. Wait, what?
Was it the picture of Jeremy's face on top of Mitchell's body that was weird?
Whoa, what? I never seen
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm messing Lainey up. Go ahead, Lainey.
No, you're okay. I don't care. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, the first game they made me play. I think I don't know. It was like Papillon. What was it? The butterfly game?
Yeah, we played Papillon. I was going to ease you into it, and you were like, that was really, really easy. So we jumped to Zaya after that.
No, I didn't like it at all. Oh, sorry. I mean, it was like I would play it again if I had to, but like, I wouldn't choose it. And then they threw me like Zaya.
That's what you get for saying it was easy. Like they're like,
That's one
okay, then
extreme-
hold my beer. Let's
Kind
go.
of one
No, and
extreme
she-
to
but she
another.
did-
That was
she
kind
did
of
well
what it
at
was.
Zaya,
It was
she
like
liked
it
it.
was like, all right, if you think this is easy, let's throw something hard at you. And I picked it up. I actually liked it a lot. Although the last time I played, I was pissed the whole time. I was so
Oh.
mad.
That game can do that to you. It can be a really great experience, or you can have a really crummy experience of that one.
One game that I played, I think once. Well, we played it like 3 or 4 times in a row, but it was the one time I ever played it, and I really liked it a lot. And no one ever wants to play with me, and I can't play it by myself. It's Captain Sonar.
Oh, you need 8.
I love it.
Captain Sonar. You don't need 8. You can do it 4.
Oh,
Oh.
no. You can't do it right with 4, but you got to go 8.
We're losing our connection.
You can do it with 6 though, because there's 2 rules
6
that are
is
really
okay.
you could double up a couple of rules. They're relatively easy.
So
to
the
double up.
problem was we played with 6, and I think a few people thought it was a little bit too. I was the only one who had played before, and so the people having to double up, it was a little tough. So I think we need to get a true game in with 8. That's why people in our group didn't want to play it again, Lainey.
I know, but I want to play it again.
Sobo. Why did we get a game in at Sobo?
I,
There was a
I
game
played
played.
at Sobo. I don't
You
know
did
where
play
you
it at
guys
Sobo. I remember
were.
that. I was playing Post
I can only
Explosion.
go to a limited amount of time at Sobo, so if it was played, I probably wasn't there because I would have ran to it. I like that game a lot. I like having to think like a lot, like very fast paced and stuff being thrown at me. Like I like escape rooms and stuff. So like that kind of like distress, like I thrive in it. So I really enjoyed, that. I think that's what really got me liking it because I think that was like the second or third time I had gone and played. And now it's like I don't know. I like playing a lot. Like I really like Viticulture. I downloaded the app on my phone because I liked it so much. And like Jeremy has all the fancy expansions, which is nice.
Hold on. I have all the expansions. He has the fancy components.
Components, the bits.
Okay. Do you have the cheese limit?
I love how Lainey's like, oh, okay.
This is
Move past
ridiculous.
that.
This is ridiculous.
And Mitch froze again. So.
Oh, good.
To Mitch, it mattered. To Lainey, she's like, okay.
I'm like, okay. I don't.
So Mitch has some
Right.
cards, but Jay's got like the fancy bits.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I want to hear
Oh
a
my
little.
God.
So you haven't learned Doomlings yet, because I feel like every story
No, I
every good
haven't
story
gotten it
starts
yet.
with TikTok told me to buy it and I did, right?
No, exactly. But the thing is, I haven't gotten it yet. So whenever I do get it and I learn it, I'm gonna call again and like.
I want to
talk
hear
about
more
it.
about
Right
your
here.
experience of learning to teach. I was just listening to
Yeah,
the
I mean, I am a teacher, so I don't think it's going to be difficult.
of children.
I just have never.
I mean,
taught
I've met
kids.
you,
Yes,
like
I teach-
actual children.
I teach students. I teach elementary babies.
They
yes.
let you within 500 feet of a school.
Oh my God, that's so rude. I'm cool. God.
Anyways, so I was listening. I'm sorry. I was listening to the Secret
No, it's
Cabal
okay.
Gaming Podcast. They just released an episode this past week, and they talked about that the how much work it takes to be a board game teacher and the effort you put in to read the rules, learn the game, set it up, invite people over, and then just teach them. And then you watch people show up who put like no effort. They didn't watch a video, didn't read a review. They just came in and said, "Feed me, teach me." It's not for everyone teaching games. So I want to hear that experience from you
I don't know
of how it goes when you teach that.
if
Yeah,
you can
'cause
teach
I've only
elementary
ever been
school
the other
kids, you
side,
can
and
teach
it's not like-
board games. Sorry, I was
Dude,
trying
I
to say.
teach 750 kids at the school I work at. Like I'm the music teacher, so I see everyone. But I mean, I like to teach, so like I feel like that'd be fine. And like I've watched all 3 of them teach before, and like I could teach a game. I just don't have a new game that I'm excited about. I have never like found a new game that I'm like, oh my God, I can teach this to like my group. And I saw it on TikTok, and I literally was like, I found a game, and I went and bought the like really fancy expansion pack with I got like it's like gold leaf, and it's like real pretty, like a pretty box. So I'm excited because I like all the aesthetic stuff. I'm a girl.
No, I was looking at the Doomling on BGG, the pictures of it, and I saw that box you're talking about, the upgrade pack. Let me put it back on the screen for you folks at home.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I think it's really cool. I paid like $89, I want to say, for it.
I mean, it's got neoprene mats. It's got a gold leaf embossed. When I look at it, it looks like embossed box.
It's probably embossed. I don't know, but it looks like gold, so it's pretty.
Yeah, it's embossed with gold leaf on it. It's got this kind of radiant rainbow color to it. It's hype.
It's like really cool. I'm really excited.
And it comes with all the
actually.
custom sleeves, so you get all your sleeves built in for this
Wow.
with this, upgrade kit.
I know.
They took a $20 Walmart game and turned it into how much, Lenny?
I won't
Slap
talk about it.
lipstick on a pig.
I won't talk about it. Now I'm embarrassed. You called it a Walmart game.
I'm not gatekeeping. I know Michael Fortino is going to come at me. I'm not gatekeeping.
No, you're fine. I was very proud of my purchase. Okay.
I'm not going to besmirch games. I guess Everybody's entitled to love what they love.
I'm excited about her enthusiasm about it.
Exactly.
Yes.
She's excited about games.
I know.
I
that's-
am
No, I'm
too.
excited because it's like it's hard to find a game that nobody else knows. Because like I'll be like, I don't know. I feel like if I would go find a game, someone would be like, "Oh, I already have that," and it's like, okay, so what's the point of me getting like no?
Did you
But
hear the
it's like,
USPS has a
I found
game?
my own- Wait, what?
No. Old joke from earlier in the show.
Yeah. But no, but
Oh.
my comment though is like, but your enthusiasm for this game is awesome. And what like when I've had people teach me games and they're like, well, you're gonna take this cube here and move it here, and then you get your card. But like if you haven't like there has been games that have been, and I'm not saying mediocre game. You can take a mediocre game, and if someone teaching it is super enthusiastic and loves the game, I'm going to enjoy that experience just because I'm feeding off of their energy of it, right? So like, it doesn't matter if the game
For
is like the
sure.
greatest game ever or a decent game. Your enthusiasm for it has sold me on the game. I want to play it, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought board games were like Monopoly and Catan before this, and now I'm just like, no, I like to play Merchants of the Dark Road.
Whole new world out
Or,
there.
like, I know it's like it's there's a lot. I mean, I have no interest in playing like Monopoly or anything anymore, honestly.
Yeah, you're ruined for
Sometimes.
for
I
those old
I
games.
really think that like, wait, what?
I said you're ruined for the old games. Now it's all about the new shiny stuff.
Yeah, I know. The old games are not real games now. I play Cards Against Humanity. I'm like, I like this game, but like, I'd rather play like I don't know, like Canvas or this. Just I've played a lot of games like once or twice. Canvas I've played a lot. I do like Canvas. But like going back to the teacher thing, I don't think it'll be an issue because I've seen like 3 people consistently teaching me games, like Jeremy Mitchell and Connor. So like I think I can piece it together, and I worry about getting every little aspect of it. Like, what if I miss like a rule and
Then I will kill you.
Halfway through.
Easy.
I know that's when
easy
Mitchell like rolls his eyes at me and makes me feel stupid.
You know why? Because here's why. Me teaches me a game. Let's say it's New York Zoo. Let's say I go to Dice Tower East and teach it to other people incorrectly.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I feel horrible. You know?
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah,
may have
no, you're
that
right, you're
exact
right.
thing may have happened.
Might have happened.
You know what?
Yeah.
I always assume that if someone teaches me a game, and I'll say this, Mitchell, you've taught me a few games. You're a fantastic teacher of games. Love it. But I know that there's rules missed. Anytime I learn a game, I assume there's at least 1 or 2 rules that have been missed. But as long as you play that rule wrong consistently for the game, it's not really going to affect anything, and you can correct it for the next time. I think there's been games that I've played for 20 years and all of a sudden found out, oh wow, we've been playing this one rule wrong for 20 years, you know. So like at some point you just got to walk away and go, we still had fun. Doesn't matter, you know. We'll learn it. We'll fix it
Yeah.
next time.
Hey, Mitch, you should tell him about what happened with Sagrada. Was it Sagrada? Is that the name of it?
The first time
game
we
that
played Sagrada, Lainey just knocked all of her dice out of there and was just like, yeah, I guess I'm out the game. You guys finish.
Nice.
That's one way to get out
I
of the
was
game.
so bummed because I like spatial puzzles, and I just like swung. I like get excited and I flail my hands sometimes, and I just like knocked everything away.
She does
I was
this.
so bummed.
Lainey, we had that problem as well. I ended up buying large tweezers for the box so that you can insert your dice and move them out without having to use your fingers. Because unlike you, I don't do the hand thing, but I have Jimmy Dean's sausage fingers. You know, you could fry these bad boys up. And every time I went to go put a dice in, and they're like, no, I want to move it. I go to grab it, and like all the dice around it would roll from my fat fingers touching near it. So I had to get tweezers to keep in the box for Sagrada. So you're not the only one that's dealt with that. But welcome to the gaming community. It was a pleasure meeting you out in Lafayette.
Yeah, hopefully we'll do it again.
The bougie capital of,
Yeah, for sure. I will come back
West
another time.
Louisiana.
Yeah, we're looking forward to
Fun.
heading back to Sobo here.
I'll
Hopefully,
let y'all know how my Doomling thing goes.
absolutely.
I'm sorry, there's a line.
Good night, Lainey.
Thanks for calling. Have a good night.
All right, good night. See y'all later.
I didn't realize she was so new into gaming. I would not have guessed that. She picked up on Ankh real quick. She also was one of the 2 that ended up merging.
Yeah, but
because they were at the bottom.
she did the
here's the
merge.
thing.
Yeah.
You guys know how many games we get in a night. In less than a year, she's gotten a ton of
I'm going
experience.
to screen this.
Screen that call.
Man, it has been nonstop calls,
which is
tonight.
great. That's
We
what
need
it's
to
all
do
about.
this long format. We've been saying we got to go more than an hour. We used
Oh,
to get
yeah.
way more calls. It's just there's not enough time in the hour.
We're opening things up to the West Coast, open to the Central Time Zone a little more. So that's good. Yeah,
And we
East
just
Coasters
never
are going
need
to
to
bed.
go to sleep. We'll just stay
Yeah.
up all night doing this. I
We'll
guess.
just do it 24 hours. Yeah, there you go. No, I don't see that happening.
Josh, I see in here you said I played I played Sonar without you at Sobo, but hey man, a door swings both ways. Where were you whenever I was
Yeah.
playing?
Need to hang around with Mitchell.
Yeah. I'm trying to not be in the middle of a sentence when Carlos comes back.
Yeah, I know it's hard to tell when he's going to jump in. Carlos, you need to flail your hands when you're ready to bring the collar.
You
in
like
for us.
Laney?
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, we got a call coming in from New Jersey. First-time caller Anthony. Anthony, say hi to the group and let them know what you got.
Hey guys, just curious. So since you guys didn't go to Gen Con, we didn't go to Gen Con either. What game out of Gen Con are you guys most interested in picking up first?
Ooh, that's a good question.
While we think for a moment, because I hope you have an idea, Anthony, what's the game you're looking forward to?
I'll say one that I saw, and I'm pretty sure it came out of Gen Con, was that Twilight Imperium roll and write type game.
Inscription. Yep.
Yeah, that one looks pretty cool.
Wait, is this
like
the voice is starting to kick in? I'm not gonna let this Tom Vassal thing happen to me again. Is this like Ant Lab? Ant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know you.
Ant Labs. There we go. It sounded familiar.
It started. The more he talked, the more it started sounding familiar.
Anthony and Francis both on the line there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Hello.
show.
Thank you. Well, you're like first time caller. I was gonna correct you. I was like, oh, we've been on the show before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're calling into like a hot radio station.
Yeah, you guys are blowing up. We can't even get on.
Carlos, I thought you were screening these calls. Carlos, come on.
I gotta hire a new screener here.
Yeah,
So
you gotta
it's
fire
Anthony
him.
from Ant Lab Games. So he all right, and we haven't. I've got an idea, but while they think, tell the fellas what you and Francis are thinking about with regards to what was published out in Gen Con.
Yeah, I mean, sadly enough, I haven't really seen any titles that came out of Gen Con that I was like drooling over. And
Agreed.
I don't know if I'm just not well informed, but everything I've seen, I've looked at all the hall. You know, the best way to know is like you look at all the hall pictures, right, on Facebook, and you can really get a good feel for what the masses are buying, right? Because there's just piles of games that come out of Gen Con, and none of it's really jumped out of the page for me and said, "Hey, you need to buy that game." So I did have FOMO for not going, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, from what I understand, Foundations of Rome was flying off the shelves. I mean, as soon as they put those stacks out, they were gone. But I mean, that's been happening for months now, so that's no big surprise that's been available at several cons. It's been selling well. There's a couple other games, but I agree with you 100%. I mean, there were no games that came out that really had me, like I say, drooling. There was nothing that I was that excited about. There were some good titles. There were a few surprises announced for things coming down the road. But as far as things that were available this year, there was nothing I would have to run out and buy, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like it's been that way the last couple of years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and it used to always be the sort of like the driving force behind when we would go there and all the excitement of it. Like, how quickly can we get onto the show floor when the doors open to get, which vendor do you want to get in line
Well,
first?
that's the thing, like our big drive out there was like, we're planning our map, like who are we going to go see and what are we going to pick up, and the last like maybe couple years of COVID, but
the last couple Gen Cons is like, what's the big game? And this year just kind of fell flat for us. I don't know why. Even when we're not there, there's always at least a handful of titles that you think are worth running after. But this year was just kind of
Well,
Wait,
I think
go
I think there's two probably reasons for that. I think we're still a year away from shipping and production and everything kind of getting back to some sense of normalcy where you can have a big release. But I think a lot of companies, because there's so much competition now, when you have all these games released at Gen Con, some of them would get lost. And so I think the pandemic has taught some of these publishers maybe it's not the best idea to bring this game to Gen Con because it's just going to get lost amongst all the other games that everyone's hyped about. And if I can release it at a different time and create buzz somewhere else, except for, so I think the days of every major publisher putting out a big game at Gen Con are done. I think we might get back to a couple of big surprise games every year, but probably never to the pre-pandemic levels that we saw.
Mitch, did you see anything coming out of the news that interests you?
It was mentioned earlier that Bigfoot roll and smash game. I know very, very little about it.
Nope. Froze
I
again.
got Bigfoot rolling smash.
Yeah, I think it was the Bigfoot, the monster trucks. As Mitch's screen froze up here, so we'll
Oh
give a
my
second to
gosh!
recover.
Every time I talk.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I don't know much about it, but it was mentioned earlier the Bigfoot roll and smash game. Just the pictures look really cool. The components is like these like wheels with ridges on them that kind of you have to maneuver through the board. It just looks cool, but nothing like you guys say either that I'm drooling over. I just thought that was an interesting looking component that I saw coming out of the exhibitor hall.
One, I think just to go back and mention the two games that I mean, Terracotta Army was a game that but that was pre-Gen Con. We saw that at other things.
Played it at Dice Tower, we did.
Played at Dice Tower. That's a game that's got hype. But then the other one, the Ready Set Bet, having seen it played now, a couple of play videos.
Yep.
That looks like a really fun game. That's a good party game end of the night where you get 8 to 10 people together and just have a lot of fun with it. That one I didn't know much about before Gen Con, and now I'm interested in it.
All right, well, I'm going to spoil mine. I didn't expect to have any game that I wanted to buy out of Gen Con, but the more I've been hearing about it, the more I went in on this title called Wolves by Pandasaurus. I think it really hits these notes for me of a dominant species feel, right? So you got this natural nature, animal kingdom type game set in a area control, area majority, direct conflict type of a system, right? So like, hexagon boards. I'm a war gamer flat out, and this is a very war gamey feeling game. You're playing a pack of wolves, looking for dominance and control of the area, and like to me, it just hits on all those notes. I love war games. I love science. I love learning. And I think this one's going to be the one for me that I'm going to keep an eye out for. Wolves by Pandasaurus, published by Pandasaurus.
The Wolves, it looks like, but yep.
The Wolves.
Yep.
The Wolves, okay. Very cool.
Well, and I think if you like science, I think I just popped in my head. It didn't come out at Gen Con, but it certainly got sort of debuted at Dragon Con as the Fox Experiment.
Yeah, Elizabeth Hargrave.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Hargrave's her new game.
As I saw more about it, it waned on me. The idea of it stood out for me, but then as I saw more of it, it's much more Euro-y.
It's Euro, yeah.
And I've already got Wingspan to kind of cover that. I want conflict. I want a better dominant species.
But you say you like science, you should look into the actual Fox Experiment and learn about it then.
What's it called?
The Fox Experiment?
Yeah.
It's a game set on true experiments that were done with regards to domesticating wild foxes. And you're going to be drafting different foxes, almost like a roll and write. You're going to be drafting different foxes, different parents are going to have different attributes. Then you're going to breed them into those attributes into their kids, and then everybody drafts from all those kids to try to make another generation of foxes, trying to get to the fox that is able to be domesticated, trying to build those attributes in foxes.
Cool.
It sounds very nice.
It looks nice. Yeah, and it's Euro-y.
Hey, the biology degree in me is interested in it. Sorry.
That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, so I guess we all have maybe one title, and which is pretty. It's pretty telling, right? Because most years you could say you have at least 5 titles that you were super stoked for, but I think collectively we only have 5.
Right, and it really wasn't anything Fantasy Flight, as we discussed earlier in the show, which is such a disappointment.
I wanted to bring that up.
They've really let me down.
I was going to talk about it outside of the calls, right? Just kind of us while chatting through it. But with Anthony and Francis here and having been a part of the industry so long, like, I mean, how disappointing was that? Like, I used to look forward to. I would plan my lunch at work around the in-flight
report. Yeah.
Yeah. They were the flagship, man. Like they were the hype wagon. Like that was it. Like everything they put out was just so exciting, and then now there's just nothing. Like it's just. I don't get it. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what they thought they were going to get with announcing this Star Wars deck builder. It just even flopped harder because of that.
I know. Yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I just.
We made Dominion, the Star Wars game. You want it, right? I mean, we need money because Peterson's gone. We need money.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have any interest in that. Like Champions, Marvel Champions, that's great, man. Like I think that was a winner for sure. But I'm not sure what else they're doing now. Just nothing really piques my interest.
Agreed.
Did y'all made it out to Gen Con?
Nah, we didn't. Good thing too, because I had COVID last week. So
my family too. That's why we started doing this remote setting, because it's just spread around to the whole fan family. We got 6 of us in here.
Oh wow. Yeah. There was I had all the kids here. It was so there were 8 of us in the house, and 3 of us got it now.
Wow.
Bad. I'm just getting over it. My 2 older boys have it now. But it's set us back, because we have a whole bunch of reviews to do and playthroughs to film. We have a stack of games, stuff that's coming to Kickstarter soon that we have to get to. Stuff that I'm really excited to get to, but we just can't.
Hey, just mail a couple down here to Tampa. Robert and I will get them on the table. We'll send you a video.
Yeah, sure.
Send some to West Louisiana. I think they might have enough internet to send you a video.
They're in Lafayette, New Iberia.
I swear we may end up taking you up on that, because between the rest of this month plus next month, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out.
Well, here's the best news. Starting Monday, I have a new role at work, and it's going to be nowhere near as complex as my current role. I'm like super psyched.
Awesome.
Looking forward to Monday to a whole new world in work where I can actually, have a little bit of work-life balance. So it's going to be
you need that.
a great fall here. What can we look forward to on the channel, on the, because I saw the last videos when we talked about the overarching umbrella, right? AntLab Games is the overarching umbrella. Next is the website where we house the reviews. But point us to where we should go to see more of what y'all have coming up.
Well, I guess just on the Nexus YouTube channel, that's where AntLab Games videos are really housed, and that's where we point everyone now. Like we're really leaning back into our brand at AntLab. We just kind of said, this is us. This is where we're gonna lean hard into it. We're gonna go back to our roots, do what we do best, and just put out a lot of playthroughs and a lot of good videos. We've upped our equipment, so we've got a lot of cool things going on. We are definitely leaning more towards some more functionality in the website for the Nexus. In fact, Francis worked all day on that today, and we're going to be putting that out hopefully really soon, giving people a space to, we'll let you guys in on it first, a space to actually sell games, your own games out of your collection.
Oh, somebody dropped some news in our Discord about BGG changing. Who? Wayne puts his hand
was
up.
Wayne, yeah.
What was that news, Wayne?
So, a couple months or over the last year, Board Game Geek had their Geek Market. They went to a private company to try to change it and revitalize it, make it new. And I guess the venture capital company that had invested in it said, yeah, this isn't working, and they pulled out. So starting, I think, the end of August, September 1, the Geek Market's gone. It's not going to, be there anymore. So between Board Game Co. is shutting down, so being able to sell used games to Board Game Co. and at that and the Geek Market, you have 2 kind of major avenues for selling and buying and selling used games that are going to dry up soon. So,
and we are going to launch the Board Game Nexus marketplace, where you can go and sell and sell used games.
Perfect
segue. Yeah.
I was a heavy user of BGG Marketplace for used games, so it does impact me, that loss. But getting this new insight, hey, breaking news, folks!
The Nexus,
there is going to be a place for us to continue to do that.
I think it's definitely needed in the space, and with the only facilities to do it are all shutting down. Basically, there's nowhere else to go, and our platform, the Nexus, is built on sort of a marketplace hub. So for us to add the functionality really doesn't take much. We'll put it that way.
Well, that's huge news.
Yeah. So this is our big project coming up. Game wise, we have Golem on the table. That's our next playthrough.
Excellent.
All right, and
I don't want to keep you guys. You're probably your guys are ending, so we're gonna let you go.
Real quick, before you go, would you play? Yeah. Would you rather have Carnegie or Anno 1800? Which would you rather play? I'm curious.
Oh,
that's tough.
Oh, damn it! People keep telling me that.
We'll split the difference, probably, right?
Yeah, me personally, I would do Anno.
My man.
And I would go. They're both really, really, really good, but I was loving Carnegie.
Yep.
I'm getting ready to play my first game of Carnegie, so I'll have to see. Yeah.
I still get no definitive answer. Everyone I've asked, no definitive answer. We appreciate you and all the support for the channel that y'all
Absolutely.
have had. From the beginning of this channel, you guys have been there as mentors for me, and I really do appreciate y'all.
Yeah, look, you guys are growing leaps and bounds. Your show is probably, I'd say, the best. Yeah,
almost every week.
The best.
Oh, we appreciate that. That's awesome.
Now I'm going to be self-conscious. Crap, I thought I was just hanging out with like my friends, Got real people watching me. Let me sit up straight, Have a good night,
guys,
y'all.
have a good night.
Appreciate
Thanks
you.
for calling.
Good night. Thanks.
That brings us to a
All
little after the 11 o'clock hour.
Yeah, the phone lines are closed. That is it. Wow, that was 2 hours.
That was 2 hours.
Non-stop calls.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
For calling in. That was awesome.
We didn't get to any topics.
No.
That's a good problem.
Good night,
to have.
folks. Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
I
didn't
say
them.
We
I
didn't
wrote
talk
it
about-
down.
we didn't-
I have to say it like the Gen Con topic, right? We were
30
Gen
seconds.
Con topic.
30 seconds. Go ahead.
Damn it, Robert.
We get
Okay.
10 more minutes. 10 more
Here's
minutes.
my problem. Here's my
All right.
problem, fellas. I was watching the Solo War Gamers, the channel I watch, small channel, bigger than me though, way bigger than me. Cool guy, and he was talking about the Gen Con numbers and how it just didn't add up, right? And it kind of makes sense to me. He talked about how Gen Con limited last year attendance, but made it unlimited this year. He talked about the reasons he didn't go to Gen Con had to do with his decision, his personal decision not to get vaccinated. And there are many people who had a personal decision to do that. We found out that Gen Con had some exceptions for that. There were some religious exceptions allowed. Our buddy from Christian Adventure Gamer, right, over in Indianapolis, he was able to get an exception, right? He had to fulfill some requirements, such as get tested like right before the show by a physician and show the results to be able to go without it. But I know Gen Con wants to talk about how 90% of their attendees said they wanted mask and they wanted vaccination. But the numbers just didn't pan out. Like it really did impact them. So when you think about
I
the
don't
math
think it
that he
impacted
talked about,
them.
well, let me go through the math. 2019, it was 70K.
Okay.
70K attendees. And if you're telling me that 90% of those attendees wanted full mask, full vaccination, we should have been at like 63K attendees.
Not
Yeah,
necessarily,
I don't agree
because
with that. Yeah, I
they're
don't
talking
agree.
about the survey they did, and so they did a survey of attendees asking,
I
and
can always count on the finance guy to help me.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
You see that? So just because like 20K less attended doesn't mean that means that 90% didn't respond to the survey saying they wanted some sort of enhanced.
So, and this is kind of that
protection.
bias, is the people who didn't want it didn't respond to the survey.
They self-selected
Sounds
out.
like- yeah,
Sure,
self-selected
That's-
out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
Because I mean,
that's
that's
what
like
it is.
$13 million left on the table when you look at the difference of the last effective Gen Con, right?
But when
2019.
you talk about where, let's compare the growth from 30 something thousand at Gen Con last year to 50 something thousand this year.
Yeah,
that
but Gen Con
20
last year was artificially
no, I said,
held
but
back.
let me, wait, so but the
There were still 30,000 last year. Is that what you said?
35,000 something like that. Yeah,
Wow,
20,
it did not seem
20,
like that.
20K.
20
I pulled
no,
up
no,
the
no.
numbers. It was 20K.
no, it was in the 30s last year.
Was it?
Yeah, it was definitely in the 30s last year. Where the I'm trying to think of the other con, not Gen Con, but the one Origins. Not
Origins.
Origins.
Yeah, they were tiny.
They went from like 10 up to like 20, and everyone's like, oh, they had a 50% increase. But their actual return to the difference between their pre-pandemic numbers was considerably less than what Gen Con was. My guess is by next year, Gen Con will be back above the 70,000 number easy. Because the other thing too is you also got to factor in flights. How many thousands of flights are being canceled? And I know several people on various Facebook groups that I'm in that they were going to go to Gen Con and ended up not being able to go because their flight got canceled. So I don't think it's necessarily the vaccine or anything else that prevented people from going.
Yeah, I don't want to fly because I don't want to deal with a canceled flight. So I'm really limiting all my trips.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think there's a lot of factors that still kept Gen Con lower than normal, and we'll see in a couple of weeks where Dragon Con is when I'm up there, because they are still capping attendance from their 80 or 90,000 they had from pre-pandemic. Last year they were like 40 or 45,000. My guess is they're going to be in the 60-ish range this year.
What cons
Josh
left?
brings
What
up
cons
a
do we
good
have left?
point.
Oh, go ahead,
Oh,
Mitch.
sorry.
It's frozen.
Joshua,
It froze again.
I am not a statistician, but maybe those fears aren't unfounded.
Are you kidding me? I froze again. Every time
Yeah. Don't talk.
Don't talk.
after Dice Tower, we saw a lot of COVID numbers going up, and remember we talked about in the podcast. We were worried that might be an influence on whether or not people would go. But yeah, I'm very curious to see if we see a lot of cases coming out of Gen Con as well, with so many more people.
One, I think the other aspect too is a lot of people are not necessarily, because of the newest variant, because of vaccines, people are not getting as sick. So a lot of people aren't testing. So they may feel sniffles for a week or two, and they may well have had COVID but didn't test. And that's a great thing. That's a great sign, is that we're moving beyond this and people are getting better. But I think the mask mandate, vaccine mandate, I don't think that had as much of an impact on attendance as people may pretend. I think travel and cost, I think the gas price and the hotel prices, I mean, things are expensive right now. And people, even though they have money from the past 2 years of COVID necessarily, I think still there is some people who either didn't want to get
I'm afraid to spend the money that I have saved because I don't know where we're headed next week.
Yeah, and there's been talk of Gen Con being on the decline. I mean, we've seen that a lot of the displays, the companies that are there are doing less. They're announcing fewer games. They have smaller booths. A lot of people are cutting back on because of costs in the economy, and so it's just not as exciting a thing. And I know Josh brought up in the comments there that a lot of people aren't going out no matter what safety measures there are. There's still a fairly decent percentage of people. I've got people that I work with on my team at work that won't go out to lunch with the rest of the team. They just will not go out in public at all. There's still people that are still relatively shuttered in their house. Yeah.
You have people on both ends of the spectrum, people who aren't vaccinated and don't want to wear masks and don't want to deal with any sort of common sense measures to help protect other people. And you have people that are so far on the other spectrum where it's like, I want to be in a full suit and not go anywhere and not touch anything. So you have
people like me in the middle where I've had it 3 times and it's always been just a cold.
Yeah.
And I just don't care anymore because to me, it's been a cold.
But I think also, like we said, that we know that, like, so even BGG at previous Gen Cons has had like that. They have the hot games room and they still had that. But BGG this year, they didn't have that photo booth, that video booth where like every publisher can come through, show off their games they brought to Gen Con, and it would be live streaming and whatever. And BGG said, it's not worth the expense. We're never doing that again. So I think Rob hit the nail on the head too. Is you have a lot of publishers that are going,
not political, Jeremy.
It's not political. It's both sides.
It was, it's observations, which I'm glad I brought it up here because with the comments from Wayne and the comments from Joshua, because it's a video I saw and it kind of interested me, the numbers that the content creator put out there. But after this conversation, there are many other factors involved
I think
that need to be considered. So it's
because we're seeing that it's like so Dragon Con's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and Dragon Con doesn't have a vaccine mandate, but they have a mask mandate. And really no one's complaining like, I'm not going because of that, right? It's mostly people are saying, I'm not going because I can't afford the flight, and that's amongst my group. I have that big group of people that go to Dragon Con every year. Pre-pandemic, there were 30, 40 of us that would go. And like more than half of them, like, I'm not going this year because I can't afford the flight, right? Or I can't find a flight that gets me into Atlanta to go to the con. So I think there's a lot of other factors still at play beyond just mask
good chat, good conversation.
So.
I'm glad I brought that up. Most importantly, when you do go to Dragon Con, I need you to come back with a couple of varsity chili dogs, some orange drink, and onion rings. I don't care how long it sits in your suitcase.
Gladys Knight's chicken and waffles. You know what?
No, I'm good with just the varsity.
You got to bring Ron Fraser home too.
Yeah, bring Ron back.
Yeah, we want to bring Ron Fraser back to Tampa. Yeah, absolutely.
Hide him in your stowaway luggage and.
Yeah, and he had an update on that. I don't know if we flashed it up there earlier, but after Ron logged off, he did say that they're still working on the Tampa situation. And there was something else he commented. I'm trying to find it here. It was a little ways back. But here we are. It's closer to a decision on the job. And yes, he knows Rob slept on the couch.
Laney, no, I don't think I'm hitting up Gen Con next year. She was asking in the chat.
Y'all have any final topics that you didn't get out because the calls were so amazingly busy?
Yes, but we'll save it for a podcast.
Yeah, so nothing that can't wait. We'll do it later. Yeah.
That's good. Well, on that note, folks, we are the Beans and Dice podcast coming to you from Tampa, Florida. I'm Carlos with Rob and Wayne out of Tampa and our member of the crew, official founder of Beans and Dice.
According to BJ.
According to BJ. Our buddy Mitchell. Check us out every Thursday night. We're really going to consider this longer format. I tell you what, we had more viewers that second half than we did the first half.
Yeah.
Flat out. So this longer format may be something we do more of. But check out our podcast, which Mitchell and I will schedule a day to record. I think all of us need to get together because we have to do our recap for the Dice Tower Awards. So the four of us need to get into the chat and pick a day, maybe early morning on a weekend or something. We can go in and talk about our predictions and the actual outcomes, and we'll get that to you. But please share with your friends. Tell your peeps at home about who we are, what we're doing, if you like what we're doing.
And I'm getting a very long Ethernet cable before we make that podcast because this is ridiculous.
Good night, folks. Thanks for watching. We will catch you all on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Hit that funky outro.
That what?
Funky outro.
Thanks for watching Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.